in Gonzo and Seb on this fourth quarter roster. It's crazy seeing this. Fun fact, Marky, one of the first LANs I ever broadcast was fourth quarter at the LAN. So brings me back up against the Tennessee Meat Wagon with a lot of notable names on this squad as well. So I'm excited to see what they've got, especially when we're talking about Anubis, Nico, probably not so successful for the fourth quarter squad.
I mean, personally, I used to I used to kick back in the server back in my days, Vincent. I used to drop a nice 65 ADR map every now and again. I've told you about that. I used to team with a man named MD, who's a good friend of Seb and Gonzo and the fourth quarter boys.
I do know that
guy. He played under that name during a couple of their LANs. I believe in main and advanced, they actually ran that up a couple of times. I think it's a sick name. I think it's an awesome logo. It warms my heart to see, especially these boys getting back together in 2024. I wasn't sure when Gonzo is going to be back playing. I know he's doing big things.
That's true, yeah. And a Tennessee Meat Wagon team that I'm a big fan. Fearless Beetle, obviously a guy that I'm most familiar with. That you're talking about. Rue has some experience in here, and I'm gonna become a little bit more familiar with these other guys on the squad as we go through. It's Moto with a nice attempt on the Deagle. It gets a little more damage done, but no dice.
Yeah, I believe Michu was also playing in advance pretty recently. This guy, alongside Fearless Beetle, some names that you can familiarize yourself with in like the main advanced region. That's pretty much the competition of mixed squads that you're going to be sort of getting here. You're going to be seeing another mix in the finals, Yippee, right now, led by Lect. There have been many times, man, when Lect would take games off of me at LAN under Cyberstorm. Unbelievable scenes, Vincent. It truly was terrible. For me, not for him.
Yeah, I was about to say, he probably was handed out the L's to you, unfortunately. You hate to see it. For Marky, that is. It's a quick mid push, though, for Meat Wagon as they push themselves forward. Lakers, though, out of bullets right as they come through the smoke, and it's Gonzo 1-for-1, but ultimately goes down, opening up this A site. But it's a fast flank, Marky. In fact, both of the fourth quarter members left alive are coming from A main side.
Sad to chalk it up. This guy in danger, still alive. We all know the prowess that this rifler has coming out of ECL has not been too kind to him as of recent. That's why he's come to this local LAN to take out his frustrations there. He's got 2 on the retake, and Kiwi's just going to get on the bomb straight up. That's Moto in silver. Mihu to attempt it. Does have the spray onto Seb, but he finishes the job. Fourth quarter get the first round of the CT side on their first gun round.
Yeah, big retake. I mean, it's off the back of Seb there, right? I mean, Moto does his job, fulfills his role, but he's just the supportive element in that fact. In that moment, it's Seb at first forefront up against Fearless Beetle and just isolates duels massively. The fact that Seb's just not ever swinging there too up into the last possible moment is what helps them out to clutch that one up. And fourth quarter, like you said, on the board for the first time. Tag timeout pretty early on. Tennessee Meat Wagon, as they'll talk things over here. I do have a question. You familiar with Mihu a little bit. So is he aware that there's a professional player called Mihu, M-I-C-H-U?
There's gotta be, but like
no, there is. It's a statement of fact. That is
okay. Totally.
That is true.
Well, excuse me. He's got to be aware of this. Is what I mean.
Okay.
All right. And here's what I'm about to like. I'm in the same wagon as this man. Okay, maybe not the Meat Wagon, but like, there's Mr. Marky playing in the like NA region, and then I was also Marky.
Yeah, but here's the difference.
Still haven't met Marky yet.
Not. Listen, you've surpassed them because now you're get the bag mark.
Dude, that is true. It's like my second evolving. What's gonna be the third? We're not sure to yet.
No, bag received mark.
Bag received mark. That would be. I mean, presumptuously, that would make sense. The 3K at the Knoxville LAN would probably help.
That's true. Good point. But tag timeout over. The decision here for Tennessee Meat Wagon is to go for a bit of a half investment, right? They've got a couple of flashes, actually a bunch of flashes for this B exec. Like this idea from them.
It's got to plug it out on the Stevens T side. Well, they still have the opportunity to hold on to something here at the beginning of it. Pop right in, and I think they are going to be catching. It depends how far they go, but the crawl is just going to be right into the space. Fourth quarter, they match them at their pace at the tied game already.
Dude, did Gonzo and Seb like simultaneously toss a Molotov in there? What was that? 2 burned alive on entry.
That was a little funny.
It was a little funny. Maybe Seb collected like a T molly, because I tell you what, the CT molly, it don't work like that.
No, it do not. No, it do not. But I can't remember who it was. I think we were on with Roe getting into the site quite far, just fully blind. It was a little unlucky there with some of the spacing that was taken in, but they'll take it on the chin, as that's the save they fully needed in. And honestly, you can kind of roll in that wave. Keep buying in immediately. It's a pug team after all, so they're going to need to try and just run this thing in. Fearless Beetle can't get the opening pick on the set.
No, tough loss. And tell you what, Seb's already showing off some of that prowess that you were talking about. Is a couple of seasons now of ECL experience really showing up. But Mihu able to make his way through middle and towards B. Nobody super aware or prepared for this at the moment for fourth quarter. I mean, now Moto's actually looking the right way, but when is this going to come into activation? It's on the rotate, but now that the hit's coming through, they can't really afford, don't have the bandwidth to deal with the hit coming at them and the flank coming through as well.
Yeah, Seb is just going to give him a little bit of space, but at the same time, he doesn't exactly want to give up his positioning. Now, gotta get like a couple of taps in, can't finish off the job. Mihu gonna be fragged, and Blakers is taking a lot of space, probably more than he should have here. And now Rose is gonna be all in for the 1v2, trying to get these shots off, but with 2 flashes, probably just too many targets. Fourth quarter, get a third in their pocket.
Yeah, the old triple swing there is what fourth quarter put them in, and it's kind of like a headlock, you know, in the WWE. That's the triple swing equivalent in Counter-Strike, and it's tough to break out of. What I will say is that Blakers, yeah, did a hell of a lot of work. Bro came in swinging with an MP9, got an upgrade to an AK, and then got away with his life. Like, got to continue fighting there at the end. Absurd scenes in the back of the B site. Fourth quarter leading now for the first time on this map, which is just map 1. I don't know if we know what map 2 is. Yeah.
We'll get a little bit of info on that. Set down an E-Box is about to get busy. He's getting all 3. Marley outside of B. Well, he was waiting his turn, and I guess it finally turned to him. We'll see if he can get any. It was Nitsua and a 2v4. But fourth quarter looked dangerous already on a map that is supposed to be decided for their chances getting up today. If Tennessee are kind of cooling down, which it looks like fourth quarter are continuously getting all of this action through E-Box, which is setting up Seb to be 11-2. That's going to be a quick way to go forward to back. That's
true. Yeah, a lot of pressure on just that one guy and a lot of delivery from him. Also, big happy to see Nitsua, Gonzo, and Seb together once again in the server. It's been a hot minute since I've seen that. You know, me as the old collegiate caster, love it. You know, seeing some cores come back in business. Seb, he's continuing to be a menace, though. Wait a second, Sudane, quick to the trigger finger. And that will lead them into an early advantage, and for the right guy to take out, too, with Seb gone. Marley's got Nitsua onto the A site, and, oh, okay. Things have gotten complicated very fast.
This has the means of probably going for it. Right here, yeah, maybe for Blakers, I was going to say, I'm not sure they actually completely knew about the upper, but smoke dropped. I think the ball dropped as well with that timing, just chasing across. It should be Gonzo and Moto to just lay in the B site where they started anyway.
Someone getting loud in the LAN center? What happened there? The Blakers had no knowledge or understanding how deep they were onto the A site, despite what was, I mean, sounded to me like quite a few audio cues. Unfortunate way to lose an AWP, but an unfortunate way to lose a round in the fourth quarter after so many successes.
Certainly so. How many do
frag?
they get on this? Yeah, they have the kit right out of the smoke, which now you're deciding your death warrant. That's an easy pickup on a couple of exits. Fourth quarter, they at least hunt down a couple at the end, but, you know, we got to talk to our boy Texas as we were
True.
getting into the Discord call. We were seeing the camera, and we were like, call over our friend. We want to talk to him. And he was telling us that, you know, he was talking smack in the LAN center. And honestly, dude, I remember when we were at Chicago and this LAN was announced, I think on like Saturday morning. Dust2 made a nice little article about it. It looks like it's turned out very well. It looks like they picked out an amazing place in Knoxville for it. This is looks to be a very fun event.
I agree. I was planning on like heading up a little bit earlier in the month. Fortunately things didn't work out so that I could do that, but glad we could still like hop on and talk a little bit about this thing, because yeah, I'm pumped. You know, I'm driving distance, so maybe next time I get you out here, Marky, we put together a team and go win this thing, huh?
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I need to dust off the keyboard and mouse. You know, me and you, I feel like we get stuff done when we play the game in MM. However, we're like stuck with Wynot, who's trying to IGL and yelling at all of
dude's
us.
actually trash can. No, it's just a joke. It's just a joke.
He's a LAN winning coach, so now we'll see if
true.
Lakers can make up for exactly what went awry last time. Buys enough time, so I say job well done. Oh no, Marley, he finds the upper hand on Seb. How often does that happen? Well, called 2 times in a row, and now they may just spin this thing around. Vincent Street.
Oh, but that spin me right around indeed. It's the meat wagon headed to B, but it's the same situation for fourth quarter. They know what's up. They're both towards street side though, and not going to get an early look at this thing, but they can walk right in. Gonzo needs to clear them out. A little bit rough on the spray, and now it comes in one more. Gonzo gets another, and it's the duo of him and Nitsua to clean up the site in its entirety. Fourth quarter, fast decision making to head back to B, and it's victory that they get off the bat.
I mean, that's a vicious retake straight up. Gotta respect the tenacity coming from Gonzo, as if it ever left Vincent. But this is LAN CS2. This is when it's hitting at its best. That first spray he hits up onto the stage is very, very nice, and Moto just comes up very, very quickly. I gotta say that there's a speed to this one tonight.
Yeah, it does feel that way. And hey, I mean, it's deep. We're nearly at midnight here, so it is certainly a situation where they're gonna have headed fast and loose. Oh my goodness, it's just that. Moto has to just give on the back of the site. Block out for the time being. That Molotov not gonna be deep enough to actually deny anybody trying to plant the bomb.
Wow.
And it's spam just good enough.
No.
It's another addition as Blaker swings through the smoke over into E-Box. It's, oh my goodness, so clean from fourth quarter. They just don't have any stop in them.
It all falls down on top of them. Blakers and Nitsua, they get a nice little bro ace between them. I mean, they just cannot stop. Maybe one little hiccup in between by the meat wagon, but they just keep carrying this along. This is looking like they're having fun over in Tennessee.
I tell you what, Blakers look so comfortable getting back into the B site. No matter what angle, no matter what position, he just seems to have a good read of the situation and feel confident moving through those areas of the map. That's already been a key for me to some victory. But the Tennessee Meat Wagon folks, they've got a lot riding on this round. Fearless Beetle from the driver's seat, both in the AWP and the leadership department, has got everything on his back.
Seb has had a rough one. 3 rounds in a row. The initial pick by Tennessee Meat Wagon, though. 2 times off of that fourth quarter have found a way to succeed. He's sniffing it out. Still can't find it, but does a little bit of damage on his Sedan, so he's just backing out.
That could have gone so badly in that situation, but bailed out a little bit. Tennessee Meat Wagon are really spread right now. Rue unable to adjust the spray. That's a flashbang play that really just stamps the approval of fourth quarter CT side on this map, right? A lot of space gathered up. Sudane, good frag. Seb unknown, but now seen. He turns and so dominant, able to get that kill and then fall away for another. It is Sudane. Left with Mihu. 2v3, excuse me. Gonzo cuts into 1. Out of the piece of Mew, gonna need a bit of a miracle. It's a wild spray, eventually connects, and Gonzo to get there for the trade.
That's a big one. That is a big one, and relying on Gonzo right at the end. The former teammates are doing well. 12 kills apiece for both of them, but Gonzo has to clean up Seb's B site. I guess that's how the shoe just fits. 3 rounds in a row that they got off the meat wagon, just checking them straight up. And Blakers has now got the op. I've done a little bit of looking, Vincent, and it looks from season straight up 28 of advance. He played till season 34. On a lot of rosters kind of in that time, but the man definitely has a lot of experience under his belt, currently playing in the nice old Open 10.
There you go. That's the experience that you're looking for, though absolutely dumpster in this round. And you see that little tech, Marky? You like that? HE into the op, blow it back towards you. Now it's mine. Thank you very much, and walk away.
Bro's a professional. What can you say? Sticking around. I feel like Nitsua is going to be just chiefing for a peek right now, smelling something on the other side and only getting bullets right up. So clearly a little bit of space, and Marley is just ready to cut off all of the retake.
Yeah, I mean, Marley.
What?
Grabs his. Yeah, what indeed? Kiwi gets a double kill there out of nowhere. This might be enough. This might just do it. Gonzo's got one for sure. He's just holding the trigger finger, hoping to get them both, and he will. Both of them gonna go down. It's a little rough, but he gets it done. Marley had a couple of nice shots, but doesn't have a line on the diffuser, just holding his Moto. And it's the same situation where Moto knows his job. Just hold the diffuse. It's victorious for fourth quarter.
Very nicely done by Gonzo and the boys. I gotta say, that lineup specifically, it is a little bit tenuous. You know, maybe you can tell, look, maybe Gonzo hasn't spent as much time on refrag as he spent coding it, Vincent. So that's where maybe that little bit of the back spray doesn't come up for him, but he's 14-4. How much can I hate on the dude?
Yeah, I don't know. I think you might be over-hating on that one. That's a little ambitious for Blakers. I don't know about that one.
Flames, yes, anything goes.
I think we're playing COD right there for a little second. If I'm being honest with you.
Some things translate, Vincent. Others do not.
That's an example of one of the things that do not.
I would say so. That's fair.
Typically,
you know, unless it's I mean, I don't know. A lot of people use those SMGs. See how they get going right here. Zane can't hit any shots. Seb, out of his wheelhouse. Out, so no. Outgunned is Nitsua in middle, and I'm pressing the panic button at home. Just kidding, because Gonzo's around to save me.
Yeah, geez. I mean, Gonzo just so swift, knows exactly what's going down there, and a Molotov to play even further delay. Gonna be disrespected, though. Adjustment made for Gonzo. Oh my goodness, he's dominating. It's Marley versus 3, the first found, but Gonzo just escapes with his life, chooses to live for now, and Seb's got the escape as well. Marley in trouble, doesn't know how much trouble yet, but a 1v2 set.
And they're giving them the respect. Straight up. You can set up the campsite for as long as he can get the pleasure for, which seems to be 20 seconds. I mean, if they literally give him the liberties, he could probably drown out this clock all himself. Back at the cake, he goes back to slicing himself. But we'll see who ends up peeking first. The contact will have to be the main part of this equation, where I think Seb is willing to be the bait.
I think you might have saw him. Yeah. Seb slows down, stops in its tracks, but doesn't quite found out Gonzo over the top, and it's 4 kills for Gonzo in that round that was honestly lost without him.
What a way to end the half. What a way to end the half by Gonzo. 18-4. This man's stunting on him over there in Tennessee, man. That's pretty nice from the boy. Him and Seb are just rolling back what's like a year and a half.
Has it been that long?
Probably. Maybe not even that long.
I was thinking it might be slightly. No. Yeah, a year and a half makes sense. Yeah. I mean, that is just Gonzo understanding what needs to happen there. Like, how much space that they lost, and he doesn't have time to wait out that molly. It's the surprise factor onto the mid player, and then, I mean, he just gets 2. on the inbound for the T side attack. That's where you can't teach that. You just gotta watch it happen.
Did we ever get those vetoes? We gotta find out what that second map is.
I don't think we
See what
did.
the Tennessee Meat Wagon pick. We can find that out in a moment, I'm sure. But it's a pistol round to decide how the rest of Anubis will go, which probably not too good for the Tennessee Meat Wagon, if I had to say so myself, Vincent.
Yeah, I mean, CT side of this map, typically one of the harder in Counter-Strike is my way of talking about it. Though fourth quarter didn't make it seem like it. Flashbangs, everything to help overwhelm the bomb site. It trades and effective ones in the favor of fourth quarter. Locked behind a smoke camera, our Tennessee Meat Wagon.
I know we talk a lot about, like, the experience level between what leagues and stuff these guys have played in, but I anecdotally know that for these fourth quarter boys, like you said, have played in so many LANs, and right now they're showing the LAN XP. They're going for the peaks that they know that they're going to win straight up. However, time on the clock and the kit on the back, they're just playing with them. Seb going for these peaks, and this is exactly what I was talking about. Blanker's even pulling out the knife. No way he's really going for it. Meet you to get this frag down. Fourth quarter, get 10 regardless.
I mean, well handled there by Moto, though, at the end. Yeah, I think, you know, to be honest with you, that was one of the fun success stories of, like, 3 or 4 seasons. That duo of, like, Gonzo and Seb specifically kind of went from main to both of them making ECL in not that long. Which doesn't happen. Like, it just doesn't. And I think a lot of that was their willingness to get on LAN and play a bunch of LAN games. They got that on lock every time, so definitely have that. Seb looking to continue forward. Travels out and gets his one. It's a Molotov to force them out of this retake, or at least delay the time frame of it.
Quick and easy at the end. Yeah, Vincent, dude, I can tell you one reason why they made ECL in the fashion that they did. You know, me and the boy Danny Fanta, we put up an amazing cast. I don't know if you remember the good old days of like a year and a half ago. Once again, it wasn't even that long ago. Once again, but there was a LAN that week before that they played without Penguin X13. It was the BPL Art Series. They played against me. We almost ripped both the maps on them. That's why they were so seasoned in that advanced grade final.
Hey, so you're saying it was all about you?
That's what I'm saying. I made it about me somehow.
Impressive. I'll tell you what, right now it's all about fourth quarter and their domination. They've got all of B site. Mitsua's got Fearless Beetle going down, and it's looking tough to get back in. Not really the weaponry to do it, and these smokes make life even more than it would have been otherwise. Mihu's got a Zeus. A man after your own heart, Marky.
There we can do it. Push him in temple, it's LAN. Don't give him another moment, they're gonna give it to him. There it is! And it's gotta be Gonzo as well. One of the remaining members that we were talking about from the X13 days. Gets checked. And I'll have to go back and look, man. I remember after that Penguin as well, he was like sleeping all weekend too. He put up like the MVP in that grand final series away. They had a long weekend in St. Louis, as it will be.
Yeah, I mean, shaping up to be one here, that's for sure. I think Tennessee with Meat Wagon gonna definitely have to look towards the second map. I mean, they got a gun around here, but it's a fake towards A, and they're biting. See Meat Wagon starting to move. Yeah, Fearless Beetle. It didn't even move that far, just a tentative look away. It opens the door for Moto as well to take out any presence towards E-Box, and now Gonzo puts the bomb down. 3v5. I'm not thinking it's likely, Marky, but tell me the story of how Tennessee Meat Wagon pulled this back.
It's through Mihu with all the nades that he have on the belt, with the kit as well. However, roads are closed straight up. You're not getting through the street. There's a blockade through Temple, and its name is Blaker. Straight up, he's about to check it. Even if he's get the idea, but you don't even get to pronounce it fully. It's Marley in the back line, and I think they're just going to be willing to be aiming it right out. They're not going to be giving up anything more. Lakers has been waiting for that knife kill, but he's not going to get it. It's 1-0 up on fourth quarter, and we head on to Ancient, the map pick of the Meat Wagon.
Yeah, I mean, that's a big victory, though, a statement victory for fourth quarter. That's for darn sure. And, you know, I'll put it this way. Tennessee Meat Wagon losing to Yippee, who's waiting in the grand finals right now. But fourth quarter, they had a tough time up against NCSU, but they pulled it off. And it looks like they are here to play this thing out, to make it to those grands.
Just one more map away for it as well. And I do believe for that decider, it is a nuke if we do go that far. I can say anecdotally from those X13 days, and I'm a broken record about,
oh my goodness,
they were
so
quite
long.
good. They were quite good on that. I think you can agree with me. So
I mean, you're not wrong, but that's one
yeah,
of these players total.
the vibes are still there because I live on nostalgia.
All right, fair enough. Nostalgia is the thing that we are currently fueled by. Unfortunately, we got to refuel here in the commentary booth. We're gonna get some water, maybe some snacks. Maybe you should try that too. We're gonna take a break, and then we will be right back. And Marky, it's time for the B hit. Oh, and that's a ton of damage. That's a massive amount of damage. Just trying to get through there. Molotov does well. Seb knocks one down. The approach towards long denied for the time being, but still the fight continues. Moto from the backside, and it is all happening so fast, Marky.
Yeah, so fast. Maybe it gets a little bit hairy in between the details. A team kill looks like comes in there. I can't remember exactly the finer details of the transaction, but either way, fourth quarter continue on from Anubis, and you know, what more classic than an NACS LAN where you're handing off Anubis onto Ancient?
It's true. Yeah, big stuff on the line here, by the way. Just to talk
Big
about
cash,
what we've got. I mean, this is essentially a money match, right? Loser of this one
money.
gets a big fat goose egg for the cash flow situation. Whereas the winner, 1,200 guaranteed, 1,800 if you win.
Sheesh.
Yeah, I mean, that talk about a big boost in the cash prizing category. It's too bad we aren't in next year yet, because that'd be a lot of Valve ranking points.
Yeah, no kidding, no kidding. That's
maybe
something.
Not a lot. Maybe like 5.
Dude, I'm ready for the apocalypse. You know, I'm like seeing alternate attacks, like shutting down their CS operations.
Wait,
at
when did
the
that
end of
happen?
the month. That happened, I think, yesterday. Lakers, no! That's all 4 in middle. And Moto is gonna be getting one over on B. I know it's just the ecos, but
I know, but it was
that's
pretty.
Charisma.
Dude, he had an MP9, ran out of bullets. He was like, "Yeah, I got this. It's the USB time. We'll go back to the pistol round or repeat."
That was funny.
That's tragic. No, I didn't see that news. I was a little unplugged yesterday and today. So
Oh, maybe
if I unplugged,
grass?
No, by unplugged I mean I was playing Counter Strike all day.
Nah, that's a lie. I knew you were playing New World. You can't fool me.
Okay. I was playing Counter Strike all night. Is that better? I was playing with you.
That actually is true. I've been, dude, we gotta get ready to play our Black Ops 6 for $12.
That's a good point. Yeah.
Save some money. Xbox Game Pass. Now you Counter-Strike gamers have PCs. Wrong type of LAN. It's that spooky season though, dude. I know when like Call of Duty's coming out, I'm like, there's no way it's this late in the year. Like, what has happened to time?
That's true.
I feel like it was just yesterday.
You might be getting old.
Chicago, dude. I actually think so. Like,
for context, tell the people at home how old you are, Marky.
I'm 22 years of age.
Yeah, this guy's barely out of being a fetus right now.
Goodness. You can say that. You can say that.
This is not exactly the like nicest gun round when it comes to the weaponry at hand, but they're doing a damn good job of what they got. Gonzo gets his, but Moto removed. This B split, it's ended up selling really well because fourth quarter they had contact over it in, so they had rotated an additional player over to try and hold station there, but Tennessee Meatwagon just adjust their sights onto B, crunch them in, win. That spray transfer, not quite perfect, but it sets up the 1v2. Hold on, Nitsua. He's good for a clutch here and there, and he's now got an AK.
He does have a kit as well. Bomb is halfway. Would just have to win the timing game right now. Sticking on the bomb. This should go for the peak, and this should be the round for the Meat Wagon swagging out on the B site.
Dude, I like that mid-rounding from Tennessee Meatwagon, though. Kind of always good to pivot, right? You never want to be so committed to the game plan that you had set in your mind. Always a good ability to be able to adjust on the fly, and that's I think what Tennessee Meatwagon do at a high level there on that last round. Puts fourth quarter down a little bit. It is an interesting amount of MAC 10s, but when you're rushing B, who cares? Fast moves, Aru and Marley. Lead the charge. It's into the crosshairs of Seb, and there's no follow-up. Nobody available. Moto still alive, only momentarily, though. And I think Seb's gone, too. Yeah. So, as Gonzo and Blakers move back in, they're trying to right the ship. They're trying to adjust to ensure that they can equalize this, and they've done even better than that.
Oh, that is a huge fight that is won by Fearless Beetle. Blakers, he has gotten it finally. Trying so hard for the blade. Finally gets his blood, and right now they're just gonna find out exactly where the Beetle is fighting from because he's still buzzing up a clutch. There it is, 2-2, and Fearless Beetle has gotta have that, and he does.
Dude, it sucks to get knifed, but it sucks even worse to lose the round. That is tough. That is unfortunate. You get the knife kill. Sort of you won the battle, lost the war situation for fourth quarter, I think, unfortunately for them. What it is, though, is the Tennessee Meatwagon boys finally breaking the econ of fourth quarter. So it's an instant response, instant equalizer as we go 2 apiece.
Looking for Tennessee fun facts. You know how I do. Pistols are getting mowed down.
You know, there's like
it ties Missouri for the amount of states it borders with 8.
That's true. It is.
It'd be touching a lot of states.
All right, let's not put it that way.
Oh.
That's a little weird. It does share some borders, though. Have you ever been to the great state of Tennessee?
Yeah, I've been to Memphis a couple of times.
Okay.
My uncle's actually a professor at the University of Memphis. Go Tigers, I think.
Something like that. I don't know.
They were pretty good at football a couple of years ago. I'm not sure what the current state of the program is.
I got some family up in Tennessee, though Knoxville way further north than them. They live on the Tennessee, Alabama.
That's interesting.
Oh my goodness,
Moto. Dude, he's mollied right into their crosshairs. They're actually doing a whole lot of great work on this B site right now. It's their map pick. They better get going, but right here, Seb. Watch out completely, but it's the MAC 10 that can't complete the kill.
Seb is alive, what?
Gonzo at that backup.
Dude, Seb was so blind. He just should be dead a million times over. This gotta really suck for Tennessee Meatwagon. I mean, fortunately, they haven't like lost track of the bomb or anything. Fourth quarter, though, their response to this B hit, understandably, has been very aggressive, right? And they're only now swinging back out to try and find some of that control back into their favor. All of this has pulled them away from B, and that's the plan that is into fruition. Nitsua is the key. Seb's gonna maintain control. Oh my goodness, Nitsua is timing them so badly here. But he's going to get the wrong idea. He's thinking it's A, but it's not.
Get it planted down. And we'll see exactly when this does get called through. It's right now. And now they have to deal with the presence at Game Ender. Something that It's completely off the menu, but from a certain point can be a little bit too above the line right here when, honestly, it's all a bit of a distraction here, but Blakers needed to stay alive for a moment there, and Nitsua is caught off balance for a moment, now finds his footing and has to just get this shot over towards the MAC-10 player. However, I think there's been just enough done. He's going to try and save the AK, runs down the ramp, and Wagon, they have gotten a furious 4 in a row.
That they have. That one more impressive than any of the ones that come before it, though, Marky. For one reason and one reason only, they lose so much on the inbound there to the B site, and I forget who it was that was making his way through mid, but whoever that was actually wins them the round. So much space gain, removes Gonzo from play, and pulls everyone back. It's tough as well for Nitsua, who thought he was getting the read. Unfortunately, kind of got some fake information. Misplayed, not by dint of a mistake, but just by seeing an empty area in mid and thinking they were going A.
This is awkward. Lakers, pull out the blade. Pull out the blade. I dare you. Can't end up getting it done. That's why Nitsu, he's got the back door. I feel like job done, however. Look at these two low HP players now, but Michu can do some heavy lifting. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it, Vinny.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know about job done. Definitely a job set up for success, right? Like they printed out all of the leaflets, all of the flyers.
Yep.
But there's still wind here. They could all blow away at any moment. Oh, hello. Moto gets a little bit of spot on the head of Michu. Oh, it's a good flashbang. Love it, fourth quarter coordinating that. Making sure that they don't overstay their welcome. But Seb's got the game-winning play. I mean, this is where he can win. It's the bomb dropped. Oh, no, indeed.
Get active on site because 40 seconds left give you with no other option. Honestly, maybe sit and watch the fireworks. Seb gets all 3 at the bottom. That's going to be nice for fourth quarter. Vincent, I have a tragic story of my own that happened today. You're talking about lost flyers, you know, misprinted papers, lost in the wind, what have you. Dude, I went to my cousin's wedding, like 3 weeks ago. Doesn't even matter. Honestly, yes, it does. The sent address today, sent in August, bro. We got the invitation via mail this afternoon.
Oh, no.
Sent in August. What are you doing, National Postal Service?
Yeah. USPS is letting you down.
I don't know. I got my passport quite fast a couple of months ago, so I can't complain.
You going anywhere there, Marky?
Maybe to visit you. I don't know if I need a passport to get to Georgia.
No, probably not, but I'll take a
Passport
look.
to your heart, maybe.
Yeah. Well, that door's always open, you know.
Oh.
There's no passport required. Big moves out mid. Lakers, who's been hot here, gotten a lot done. Not gonna stand tall and fight for mid control. Not when double smoke for House. That's unfortunate.
Ooh. I feel like Gonzo got negatively affected by that. Probably could have had a free kill. However, still awkward positioning in that free for Gonzo. Lakers is going to snap down as well. And in a blink of an eye, they're all going to fall. But maybe with the positioning back, a wounded Seb in the bomb down that he gives back with 35 to go. And Rue taking sight into Nut. Having to get past this House player. Could tap on his head or give a little bit of a notion. Hey, we're coming to your neighborhood. It's the A site hit up with 25 to go.
They creep out. Oh, big whip there from Nitsu, unfortunately. And it's Blakers who takes the shots, but that too falls flat. Rue is low, but Mihu survives on a lot of HP. There's a smoke onto Rue. They're not utilized just yet. Blakers is going to make the move, and Rue doesn't actually look towards that direction. Isolated now is Blakers, and it's Seb's low HP. Comes through the smoke. Oh, it's timing strike at its worst for Mihu, and it's Seb victorious again.
I mean, he absolutely needed a miracle to get in terms of a gunfight right there, and literally back turned to him on the 12 HP. That's exactly what he wished for. So 4-4 at it. I think they've simply turned off the switch in terms of the motivation at the beginning of the game that the Meat Wagon sort of rode on. I think that it's at least stamped out for now. I don't know. Maybe stick to that B hit.
Yeah, the B hit was punchy, man. It looked good. Though I'm gonna be real with you, Marky. I don't feel like the issue there was that they went A. I feel like they had a lot of utility that they didn't actually utilize, right? Like
Certainly.
smoking 3 flashes there for the post plant, and not to call out anyone in particular, but like Rue is sitting low HP, just looking
Yeah.
donut, not worried about the temple walkout when you knew that Blakers was in CT. I don't know. It
Right.
just seems like a little bit of an oversight, in my opinion. Especially when you could have like gone big box or doubled sight or taken CT and smoked off. I mean, anything there that you want, but I was thinking donut.
And honestly, for the amount of space that is worked out by the meat wagon towards the B side of the site, interesting that they find their way over towards A to finish in the first place. Just in my mind, it's easy for me to say, right? We kind of see everything on the minimap here. Not much left to the imagination.
Yeah, I mean, they had so much mid control. I get where they, how they got there. It's a tough one. Oh my goodness, that's disgusting what just happened to Gonzo. Lakers fortunately answers the call, but he's on actual 1 HP. Oh, it's a missed shot from Seb that allows Rue to continue moving forward. Moto's actually the only guy that could really have anything to say about this.
Walking it down, turning the corner, and he finds another frag. Lakers on 1 health will have to do miracles, but probably in the next round when that's 100 HP back again. I mean, no chance. Tennessee meat wagon. I mean, they're going to be finishing this one at B. I think work done elsewhere. So true to your point before, where I think they do a lot in their middle control, which that's the key to success if you want to get this going forward. I noticed Marley is maybe having a little bit of a slower game. I felt like he had a couple of flashy plays back on Anubis. So once he gets going into the mix, it's like fresh legs back into the game. He'll be good to go.
Yeah, I mean, and Rue has definitely been that breath of fresh air for Tennessee Meat Wagon. I mean, he's 12-5 right now, but that has been a lot of the openers. Has been about him. It's too strong in this round, and the lead regained, gathered back. Now, here's a question: do you buy here? Blakers can drop one. Seb can drop one. That's 4 guns. Like it's not a lot, but Seb could definitely drop like a FAMAS.
I think they have the 2 loss bonus. I think they take it on the chin. I think you can get a lot with 38 in the bank. But we'll see how it does fold over. I think it goes to a 4-6, what have you. Like I said, if worse were wear, I think the last map, regardless of Tennessee Meat Wagon, let's see they finish this thing 13-4. They just look like absolute demons. Then maybe you have a conversation on Nuke where we're considering the alternative. But I don't know, man. I think that I'm speaking a lot kind of into the future here that could kind of roll off of this ball if Ancient doesn't go to the fault, because I don't know, man. Tennessee Meat Wagon, you got to give him a little bit of space, because I feel like that respect was there in shades at the beginning of Anubis, but then Seb was just dominating. And,
wow.
Yep.
There's some of that flash and flourish that you were talking about from Marley. Tracks him down, despite the silencer from Gonzo, or from Blakers there.
Okay.
The smoke. Yeah, Marley, another one. It's into a solo versus a lot. 5-7, not quite able to connect. And it's 6 rounds. I mean, already a pretty good half. I think you would call 6 at the halftime if it is just 6. Not a bad one for T-Side Ancient.
Yeah, I would certainly agree. I think that the stats are probably around like the 52 to 53 mark on that CT side nowadays. But, back in my day, Ancient was T-side. So I feel like I'm a bit anecdotally biased. I feel like he can still turn up when presented the opportunity here. Blakers blind, does find a second on the time. Gonzo right in position. can just try and get a second kill, but I think they bought enough of this to try and just work it back. Marley, he's getting active up top off of the boost, now has to just duck away, but Blaker's down to 12. They've done quite a lot of damage here hitting A, but I think they're bruised up entirely.
Yeah, Sudan has the bomb, and that's what's kind of interesting here. If the bomb had been knocked down out in the open, it'd be a different scenario, but Lakers now taking some liberties, really trying to be careful about this thing, and that Molotov's going to give away the game. Oh, and he's just tucked away right as the swing comes through. It'll end up being back towards A, but now with Gonzo tucked, I don't know if this gets checked if he just tucks in. Oh, but Gonzo's made the move. He's actually not going to be back sight. It's going to be big box.
That's a deadly smoke. Call it half of the round that's going to be taken off of that if you respect it, but it's the boogeyman waiting on the other side, and he can sniff this thing out straight up. I think enough done on the spam to not panic whatsoever. Even Moto coming in to give a helping hand out to Gonzo. That's why there was no panic in that save round. That's why it's because they knew what they had. It's because they can stand on their own ground, and even when Gonzo's still shooting, old Nitsu's had a little bit of a tough one here, but Blakers is just picking up the slack. You know, these guys, they still got a grand final to play, Vinny. That's the plan, at least.
It's true. That's on the docket. Up next, just if you're interested in sticking around, you got Yippee on the cards up against the winner of this one. And it's fast out hit again. Marley at the forefront, and he's been good. I mean, you talked about some of that flare, slow to start, but we're seeing some of that come back here, Marky. These last couple of rounds, we've seen these ideas start to formulate into Marley's head and into victory as well. There's a flashy opener from him onto Gonzo, leaves fourth quarter lacking, and it spread the defense, spread it thin. A push through A main, but it leaves B very exposed.
Two of those smokes already dropped into cave and already used onto the ramp earlier in that round, and Marley just picks up a big fight in mid, but it's Nitsu that actually is fighting this all from A. This changes things. Now he hits another, and he sends this! It's another by Nitsua, just out of bullets at the end, but a 2v2. Flashy plays in middle, but I think the round about to be turned on its head. Seb turned around, but still goes down, and Moto just on the other side of that smoke. How is this thing all gone from bad to worse? But somehow on the fourth quarter side, it's a 1v2 for Moto now.
I mean, winnable, though. Not easy, but winnable. He's got a lot to handle. Tennessee Meat Wagon are just unmoving. Got a ton of utility. So once this bomb goes down, if Moto's on the wrong site, he's in big trouble, and he's going to be in the wrong side. It's now that Tennessee Meat Wagon start to put in some of that util that I was talking about. Moto not heard. Okay, good decision here. Just going to walk it out. Give a little bit of a wait on hoping to track him through the smoke, but that is indeed just wishful thinking.
With that spam, he has showed his cards, but at the moment still waiting to deal them. Can't really work it back with the utility, so it's going to have to be a confident pursuit throughout this. And now, just happy to go for the first option. There's no way that this goes well, and it doesn't, except with a tough pill to swallow that comes through Mihu's wallbang 7-5, and Meat Wagon's map pick is currently going pretty well, off to a harder CT side, however.
Yeah, I think we saw their Tennessee Meat Wagon being incredibly strong despite some struggles, right? Like fourth quarter break off the early pistol round. They get a strong start. You had really Blakers playing a great game and Marley with a slow start. All of these things didn't oppose Tennessee Meat Wagon in the way that you would have thought they could have. That should have slowed them down even further, but no, they weathered the storm and able to come out on top with a 2-round lead into half number 2. It's a massive win.
Certainly agree. You're flip-flopping onto the other side here. Vincent, I'm not sure how much you've gotten to check out the full bracket, but, you know, when we were talking about covering this event, and I was thinking back to who exactly I remember speaking to who was interested in going to this LAN. Obviously, I'm a big fan of Lamb Choppington. We just saw him go out in the game before this with Texas, unfortunately. But, you know, there's a lot of great talent at this event. I know Amped Red particularly was one of the names, and I'm like, they might go quite far. They got knocked out. I mean, there's a lot on the line here, and with how Wagon are playing, I thought at the beginning of this Ancient, they may have been knocked out, but I think this pistol round says otherwise, but hold my beer. Seb and Gonzo, they're still in the mix, and they're not giving up.
Yeah, we're a couple deep, and Seb got a little look-see at Fearless Beetle. Marley beheaded from CT, and the P250 strong from Big Box. Fearless Beetle has the kit, but it's, dinked up, no, not really down, though, but now out. Nitsua, along with Seb, swinging together. In fourth quarter, slice off a second pistol round. 2 in a row in this map. And I'll tell you what, a little bit of a slow half on CT side can be all forgiven if you pick up both pistols like that.
No, it totally can. It totally can. And now you're about to see if they can find any sort of space to get into this, but I feel like it's just going to come on now. We'll see how they run it up here. Double mid smokes, whatever it is. It's a little bit hoppy, but they play on the energy. They play on, or corny, the power of friendship, Vinny, as many would. But that's what's taken them this far on this Sunday in the first place.
Far and deep into these playoffs. Not going to be too much to talk. Oh my goodness, Nitsua's got a whole lot of shooting to do, but doesn't get it done.
Ooh.
That's a nice shot. Not very often do you see like a crispy headshot like that from a MAC-10.
Bomb has been planted.
But this is the claim to fame for this round. Marley, AK in hand. If you get away with this, you're sitting pretty. Marky, this is a huge win.
Yeah, that's a big tool into the next round, especially staring down what it's going to be a very large CT gun round coming up as their first to kind of shut down what's about to be probably a very hard fourth quarter train to stop. Something tells me you're not getting out with this AK, and I think it's about confirmed. Here Gonzo is now just getting the business, but Fearless Beetle is trying to just respond. They've got this one locked down, so maybe hold my tongue for a moment. That's going to be interesting.
Fearless Beetle hoping to get something extra there, too. It's just
okay.
a MAC-10.
All good. It's a worse MP9.
I don't think he wants it. I don't think there's interest
on the ground. Give it to the cave player. He'll love it. There you go.
Yeah, so you ain't gonna pick it up.
Nothing wasted.
You
that's
like
what
that.
I was. That's what I'm saying, Vinny. You love to see that. Taking care of the world, taking care of each other. That's what I was waffling about in the last round, man. Friendships, what's brought them to Tennessee. What does Launders say? You're fighting loneliness. All the gamers getting together. These are pug teams. These are friends succeeding at a high level, and that's what you love to see. Oh no! He's even got the blade coming out, and this is the Meat Wagon putting bodies just in.
Dude, he gets that first one fair enough. That second one, I'm throwing up. That was disgusting. Absolutely absurd. Unreasonable even, one might say. He tracks it through the smoke on the run. On the run, Marky.
That's insane. That is insane. But you take it, and you bake it. Meat Wagon, this is what they have to ride on. Way to deny the pistol round and then some. It's all that pressure. It was the AK that was picked up so early, and now they're going hunt. Look at them just chasing it down. Not the time to pull out util, and you're reminded of it, but now the swings can come in, but Lakers does end up breaking one back, spinning back around. Marley has all of that raked up in middle. There is the Meat Wagon pulling up to 9. Vincent, this is pretty convincing at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, that's a lot of bodies that have been stacked up over the last couple of rounds. So I'd say the Meat Wagon probably overflowing at this point.
What's the weight limit?
Yeah, I gotta know. Plus, has it been raining? Those wheels are gonna be tough if it's been raining. I'm just concerned. Trying to make sure everybody gets home safe. You know me, team dad out here, Marky.
Team goat, team everything. That's it.
Oh,
Team
really?
player.
That's true.
the rush up B. Team, you gotta turn it around. Team, they're so far deep, but that's what Rue is communicating at the moment, because they're even flashing to try and take this thing into game ender. There's an AK on the other side. Fourth quarter, we're checked, and now they're trying to checkmate right back. They can swing off of this, but not on the timing. It's an A to get them back. Oh, Fearless Beetle with the no-scope, trying to continue on the Deagle. That's not such easy work. It's harder than you think. 2v2.
And that's massive. Nitsu is going to be able to pick up an AWP. Moto needs to play hard to get. Doesn't need to go down, but needs to be threatening on either side. They force their way out. That's where Nitsua can get in there. It's one tap from Mihu with a bomb planted for Nitsua. And it's so low, but he's not fighting on the first.
What?
It's the swing wide, and not a lot of bullets left in the magazine. Nitsua is the one to leave them hanging. It's a big win for fourth quarter to get him right back in it.
I mean, that's insane. Does he literally have one in the magazine right there?
I
That's
think he had
wild.
3. I know we don't have it. I didn't see it on the HUD, but I think he had 3.
On the 1 HP, man, that's brutal.
I mean, he didn't know how low he was, though. I think some of that was nade damage.
Trying to tap him out, do your best. It's all instinctual at that point. It's a good try, and off an insane round of the Meat Wagon pull back. Fourth quarter, get one that is just as sweet. And this is $1,200 on the line. And if fourth quarter can get a knockout punch right here, they're going to be feeling like that might be coming their way, because that is at least going to be breaking the money in game right now.
Gonzo creep up, and that's exactly what he's looking for. And the worst part is, at least for Tennessee Meat Wagon, is that they are not necessarily going to just go off the back of that, though that might be enough to do so. With Lakers getting a kill out mid, Rue stands tall. He's going to have to get more, and more is just what he's got. With Moto down, Nitsua falls right before, and Rue can even get a reload off. 3-on-3.
And that's really the first hurdle already jumped over. Way to test the time over on B for the moment and reset the expectations for fourth quarter. Oh, that is not a fight that you should lose, even on the AUG scoped in, out-muscled by Seb, who, like we were talking about earlier, just straight up has so many reps on LAN compared to a lot of people attending a lot of locals in the NA scene throughout the years. Maybe 12 and 12 at the moment, but is getting the important ones. Noisy on their way towards B, and right here, just tucked in, letting them pass into the site for a moment. You know you have to give a little bit of respect over to the fourth quarter, because as we are ticking down, this is where they are not going to lose the game. Trying to lock in as Gonzo is pushed up to make the play. He gets even one, but it's Blakers that has his back, and you're into a tied game. Fourth quarter aren't giving up yet.
That's where you really just have to rely on somebody like Gonzo to get his on 13 HP. He's just in a wide off angle, needs the instant headshot, delivers it. Blakers swings in to ensure the trade comes through. Some good team effort right there from fourth quarter to equalize this whole thing. And it's a big problem for the Meat Wagon, because look at their money marquee. It is in shambles. It's pistols only that they come into this round with.
It's been a whiplash. It's been a rubber band that's broken here in the last couple of rounds economically, because they're sitting on one. They're just sitting on one bonus off of this, if my math is correct. Gonzo just cleared it up the ramp. Check yourself into the 5-7s, and now we'll see how strong they are. The answer is maybe on the ramp. That's where the weight is. And now into an AK, just checked with that bonus. It's now Fearless Beetle to try and do a little bit more damage. But this positioning is interesting.
Dude, God, he's looking for more. Gonzo will put him down, but god damn, that was a nice shot.
Unreal.
Like, I mean, we could see him coming, but like, that was crazy fast.
That's LAN stuff right there, man.
Like,
it's so great.
Like, I'm not kidding. I saw that, you know, I see that guy in my matchmaking game. That guy's cheating in my book.
You're getting reported.
Yeah, like.
And smack talked in all chat.
Yeah, exactly.
Fourth quarter can find an easy one here. Fearless Beetle, they would just need to have a miss one-up shot. Sure, he even gets one kill. They can just flood into the A site on that. Gotta be expecting it now, and does hit one. That's even a big name kind of ripped off the list at the moment. Double mullied in, but this isn't gonna stop Fearless Beetle entirely.
Oh!
All of these spams are deadly.
Bomb has been planted.
Twofer. And out of third.
Diabolical.
Absolutely stunning. And they get them all. Marley's got it fourth all through smoke, except for the first where it was Fearless Beetle. It was through flames instead. What an absurd win for the Tennessee Meat Wagon. They've got a round where they see exactly one person killed.
This is insane. I mean, let me kind of write off of that. This is an absurd like sequence in these last couple of rounds. There's no way we're just staring down the barrel in round 20 and straight up the Meat Wagon go out with 5 players out of the round like a full deck. That's insane.
Yeah, 100%, man. Like I feel like we have got a ridiculous game on our hands at the moment, man. And it's only going to get more ridiculous because fourth quarter, this is a round where they can't afford to lose. Like, obviously you don't want to lose the round, but economically they're ruined if they lose.
Betting on this one.
What
Nuke
are
would
the
be-
odds? What are you
I don't
putting the
know,
odds
man.
at?
Forever in your favor, Vincent. Forever the pendulum will swing.
I'm Katniss Everdeen.
I will be the person that does it. It's Nitsua that takes the peak instead. However, not sure it was for much. As tribute, it's a Moto that drops as well. Vincent So escaping out of 2 in the defense. It's Blakers to save them, or at least attempting to once again. Gotta love that photo. Let's see if he can go as crazy as he looks.
Yeah, good smoke though. That's gonna cut Fearless Beetle off for the moment, and it's a plant. Oh, I was gonna say that it goes down. Smoke fades. Gonzo holds back for a moment, waits a little bit longer, and these are great post plants, Marky. That's the key. Not any utility that's left, but Blakers gets away just as the smoke pops in his face, and everybody's coming from CT side, both long and short. Can overwhelm, but the site is already theirs. Meat Wagon don't know yet.
They've got no more plays left in this game. It's all just the turn of the table right now. There's got to be an op staring this man down. With the smoke that's going to go on top of it. Hold on, you can find the timing. There's a man behind you. No time with it. It's 11 that is earned by the Meat Wagon. I think Seb.
Alrighty, it is time for map number 3 as we get things rolling. Apologies for the technical difficulty we had there at the end of the map, but it was Tennessee Meat Wagon to overwhelm, send fourth quarter to a third, Marky.
And here we are on a nuke. I'm very pleased to be here, but I gotta say, surprised at least. And here go the Doolies up and again. It's Seb still alive, so there's still a possibility, but not anymore. It's 5 out alive for the Meat Wagon, who are seemingly one step at a time in every round, gonna try and find themselves through a third map to be $1,200 richer, Vincent. That's the goal.
Bro, that is a flawless pistol round, and if I do say so myself, a pretty darn nice one. That is impressive, to say the least. And you gotta take what you've been given. A bounce back on your map pick, add pistol to the Sally after losing them both on Ancient. It's a huge dub.
No certainty here. And staring down what will be a second half, whipping back here with the duel. He's not gonna find all the room imagined, no plant as well, no free reign onto the Australis gain. It's only 1 life lost in this round, and Tennessee Meat Wagon, they are putting some dollars out under them, if anything.
Yeah, and I mean, I think now, for all the stakes, right, money match, $1,200, all of that conversation, I'd call this, you know, if Tennessee Meat Wagon best this fourth quarter team, I'd call this an upset. I know the seeding is what it is. I assume based on the group stage, but like in my mind, definitely fourth quarter come into this the slight favorites, not massive ones, but certainly favorites.
Honestly, I mean, I give them a little bit more respect than that. I gotta say that I'm convinced, however, after how far that Ancient went to push, we had some technical difficulties, but I heard, and I gotta say that scoreline that we saw, that's the 16-12, speaks for itself out of Ancient, which I gotta say is their map pick. And, you know,
Oh,
I
Sudane.
commented before how anecdotally I felt about Nuke falling into the hands of fourth quarter. Well, here goes that third round, likely falling the wayside as well. But Fearless Beetle finds himself at timing. I'm not sure he fully is aware of the step cross.
No, I think he knew, but what he didn't know about was Gonzo walking in through the door right behind him. A little bit of a slip timing that could have been problematic, but Gonzo ensures not so much. It's similar to what the Meat Wagon did to fourth quarter on Ancient, where it was fourth quarter to win the pistol, but then as soon as those gun rounds started, Tennessee Meat Wagon had the answer. Staying true here on the T side of Nuke. Where did that smoke disappeared into somewhere that I don't know where?
Ooh, we're getting active already. You love to see that by Marley. Getting boosted up. Ooh, no, Vincent. He doesn't find it.
That was a miss smoke, by the way. That first C smoke doesn't actually hit. It's very fortunate that fourth quarter get away without actually taking that much damage from it.
Ooh, and Moto just gonna be clipped right there. 5-7. Hard at work. Oh no! That's gonna be fumbled right here. Minute 15, and the B side is practically theirs. Marley backs up because Fearless Beetle is still down below, and if he can't find the frag, then there may not be any point to him actually rotating in this, but they're going up to A, where they are very much in position to shut this down. Tennessee Meat Wagon sees Gonzo with the bomb at single door, now on a 1v4 with 50 to go.
And that's rough, right into the meat grinder. Goes fourth quarter, they get ripped apart. Tennessee Meat Wagon had full understanding, a complement of players at every given angle or position. They knew what was going down that whole round from the start. A lot of information on the cross. You know, a lot of times you try to get over towards secret without giving too much away. Fourth quarter, very clear about their intentions there before, and so prepared. The Meat Wagon. Another buy-in. Have the cash to do it. It's not the C smokes this time, but more traditional cross smokes being pushed out.
It's happening away. Goes Fearless Beetle. With the AK to hold outside early, they're smoking off Big Garage to wheeling deal with what they currently have to steal is headshots on angles like that. It's LAN CS, so Gonzo, you're not going to be getting away with the little things.
It's the little things that usually make the big difference. Walk out here, Nitsua gets clipped. It's not looking likely. Now 3 strong, 3 left, but look at the utility. It's a flash and a nade left for fourth quarter in its entirety. There's only one move, and that's to head down B, but there's still a defense to be had. Sudane is in position there. Wait a second. Seb, how's he found this timing? I've got no idea.
Okay, that's the troll in me coming out. I'm like, you got to knife him, Seb. However,
win the round.
However, win the round. However, get back into position to try and flip the beginning of this game back your way. However, Marley, this is a position that's not going to be checked with the time, but he slipped by the crosshair, and Moto has got the bomb down, and Blakers has got a frag. Suddenly, fourth quarter, comfortable to take this one. And right here, it's all going to be telegraphed from U-Haul. If they're close enough to hear the footsteps count, one but 2 nades, Vincent, now set up for the end game.
Yeah, certainty now where there was question marks. Another flash goes in, but I mean, this is just a triangle of death that they go into. These off angles are perfect. Moto gets his. Now he doesn't have to swing. Just wait for Blakers to take the next contact, and that's exactly what he's doing. Mishu has no clue how he can get back in and no time to do so. That's a 3-on-4, 3-on-5 maybe it even was. Regardless, a massive brain play from Seb to get him back in.
Yeah, you really got to appreciate that there. where I gotta say, for the mechanical ability of fourth quarter, like staring down the CT side is very comforting if you're going to be staying in within the early game here. And I mean, the importance of that round is screaming off the screen at the moment. 5-7's up with the hero rifle of Michu, who we'll see if he's going to be able to go huge here, because there's been a lot to come from outside, specifically from Fearless Beetle. So that's where they stack the rifle, and that's where they get the opening kill on the Blakers, and then some. That's Gonzo check. Now the 5-7 out. The Seb is just too clean for it, but still at work, but not for long.
Yeah, that's a nice recovery. I don't know where that AK dropped. There's another one now on the floor that Rue has recovered. I think Fearless Beetle left out in the lurch, though. I think that's on top of Garage, which is going to be a tough one to recover. Moto holding the line while Nitsua gets the bomb elevated into the B site. But I mean, this is still very winnable. There's no armor here for either Fearless Beetle nor Rube, but I mean, a Deagle's still deadly.
They find a timing, or at least they should. Into Nitsua on the shot, but no information on Taru, and he plays it well enough to where he rides on that fact, probably to the detriment of himself, but he finds the headshot onto Nitsua, and now he cuts distance. Now he cuts the chance down, and he just holds it, but this is not going to be to the odds, and Moto is just going to put him down. 3-3, finally tied it up at the start. Fourth quarter are gearing up all night long.
That they are, but I tell you what, that was an incredible defense considering the investments that were available for the Meat Wagon squad. They had nothing but the saved AK. I mean, big value out of that for Mishu. Not just that, though. I mean, making that competitive, I think that Nitsua probably should have died to the Deagle. But it's just a missed shot, allows him the space to work with. It's going to limit the economy that fourth quarter built up in that eco round.
Oh, does he gush him with the MAC-10? Lakers, you're a criminal. Comes back to ramp as if nothing happened. And I mean, at the moment, it's the utility that's a little bit sparse. And they're spending a lot of it outside, dealing with the ghost of Fearless Beetle, who is already down below.
Yeah, and the fact that he's actually got the op posted down below, I think it's a good adjustment for how much President fourth quarter had put towards that area of the map these last couple of rounds. Moto loses his life, spotted out. Now Fearless Beetle takes his, falls away. Yet another angle where he can play defense. Bomb recovered and escape made.
Back up top. Lakers now just on the other side. Shots are not going to be hitting. Marley gets the timing in his own. A flick over to Seb would be worth its weight in gold. Unfortunately, not for now, but you put into a 4v2 and Seb softened up. Goes into Rube's wheelhouse and finds him off guard, but not to finish the job. 30 seconds left.
Yeah, there'll be a little something here, though. A bomb plant for sure. And that Molotov that was meant to fend up the T side is for the T's favor only momentarily, though. Sudane holding the line and ensuring that Blakers goes down without much more of a defense made. And it's another round for the Tennessee Meat Wagon as they pick back into the lead.
Everybody with a nice little kill. Teammates to really kind of point to that fact. Everybody got their turn, right? I think it was that play outside that you're playing for that initial door pick. You feel the pressure, and then you send Fearless Beetle down below, and then you're left outside playing through Marley, getting a lot of important kills. But it was through literally every single turn right now. Well done by Tennessee.
That is a very purple knife, I've just noticed. I don't know if you noticed, but yeah, a little bit. Some sort of crazy pattern. Fearless Beetle, though, opening up proceedings once again with the AWP. That's kind of been not a very significant part of this series overall. But big changes in that one. Nice spray control from Rue. I mean, that was an eco. We're not too concerned about the outcome, but style points matter, Marky. We know that.
They certainly do. And like I was referring to earlier with our quick chat between games with Texas, like, especially getting into the late games here at the LAN Center. We know there's one team kind of listening along, whether Yippie's here or kind of in spirit watching this. They're going to be ready for the smack talk that's coming through, especially in this third map. Gotta be hearing this out. Almost a opening kill on Fearless, knocked down to 27. Mihu and Seb, they get taken out. Rather, Rue on that 8 defense for it. And now they're just going to lock it in. You better save these CT rifles. However, I don't think they're going to get up without a fight, but I think they might.
Bit of a nade there that gets a little complicated. And these guys aren't the healthiest for the quarter. But they've already started the timer, and it's already been taken quite a while now. Locked another smoke for Mini, and I think that's going to ward them off. If they weren't already thinking of saving, which I think they were, then that would be the guarantee of just that. There's money, but not a lot of it left for Tennessee Meat Wagon. Really, I was using the word punchy a lot for Tennessee Meat Wagon and the way that they were attacking the B side on Ancient. Kind of same vibes out of that fourth quarter.
Oh, poor Blakers.
Yeah, the bomb is absurd on Nuke.
Yeah, it'd be like that. Small map, you know.
I mean, that's true, but
I feel like Blakers a couple of times has been low HP. More often than not, at the end of a couple of these rounds, finds himself out of the punch. A little unlucky there, Vincent, but quite a first half this is turning into. Fourth quarter respond and look to kind of just match up the pace, at least into ramp with initial contact, but Seb just holds, and him and Nitsuo could be up to some trouble. Marley back outside in place of Fearless Beetle is netting another kill, but now 3 players into ramp, and the missed op shot is now backed up, but I don't think they're going to stop.
I think they might just walk away from that fourth quarter, which I would tend to think that they would accelerate, but I think the right decision, maybe sniffing out the bait and switch setup that was ready for them there. Regardless, it's Gonzo who's down the vent, ready to swing out at a moment's notice, and the rest are coming through elsewhere. Adjustment needed for Nitsua. Now Gonzo can join the fray. In the meantime, Moto connects onto the 1. Rue with another double frag, though. This guy has been fragging out of control. Map 2 was exactly what he needed. Oh my goodness, Nitsua gets off of it. What did he hear? That's a ghost comp, probably.
Too much, but regardless, they'll try and figure it out. Pot flash to send them in. And right now, Nitsua has just got to set up for it. Fearless Beetle is going to drop, but get mobile with the op. That's the #1 concern. Going through the smoke, it's Nitsua in his face, and now the positioning at Mustang is not going to do you any favors. Marley getting on Nitsua's level in the 1v1. Just got to hop up the bomb now, and Marley looking for the shot, and he gets it. The Meat Wagon has got a 6th.
Well, there it is, all the way through. Nitsua doing so much heavy lifting there. A valiant effort in the 1v2, I tell you that, or 1v3 rather, cut to 2, and still, it's not quite enough. Marley opening and closing, and I think a lot of unsung heroes in that round, Rue being one of them from Rafters, doubling up. If they get into that position where it's like a 2v3 or 2v2 retake, I think Tennessee Meat Wagon lose that.
They weren't ready for the off angle he was in. I mean, 2 kills there is just absurd. However, getting this far is without being checked. Lakers gets a nice frag back, but now it's just a race down to the B site. Rue is going to try and check them. The bomb is not passed, so money where his mouth is now. With the MP9 to drop them down, as the job in sight has already been done. And right here, you know what? They're farming up cash here on the CT side. It's a 3-round lead. You get out of this game, and we've talked about it a ton of times. You would be $1,200 richer. That's the line they're trying to get to. When I look at this pool of teams going into this tournament, I thought fourth quarter would be surely a grand finalist. So that's the weight that sits on my mind. They have a CT side, an entire 12th round to play before we fully finish this conversation, Vincent. But quite a game that we're getting here at the late hour.
Yeah, I mean, listen, you talked about Rue's profile picture. If that is indeed him, that is at localhost Philadelphia. So all I'm saying is he's got the experience to back it up.
confident about Philly, huh?
Pretty confident. Am I wrong?
That could be local host St. Louis, R.I.P. That could be local host New Brunswick, R.I.P.
No, it definitely couldn't be New Brunswick.
I just wanted to put out some nice
It could
shots
it
into
could be
the
St.
air.
Louis. It could be St. Louis, but I'm pretty confident it's Philly. I'm not sure though. It's the long run of PCs that give me confidence.
To the LAN centers that came before us that have led us to this point in Knoxville. Here comes a flash. And here goes the Og. And here goes Fearless Beetle to try and steal a couple of kills. Oh, he lays a headshot on the Zeb. And the triple to finish it. It's 8-4 in fourth quarter being flushed at the moment.
Dude, Fearless Beetle's opping has been so crucial this half to getting that 8-4 scoreline. Openers left, right, and center. A big hold with support as well on ramp side for the AWP and the in-game leader as well here for Tennessee Meat Wagon. Fourth quarter are reeling a little bit. You got some of those bigger names that we talked about with Gonzo in particular having a slow start. He's 2-10 right now, but as a whole, we're just seeing fourth quarter struggle just a little bit.
Yeah, this is wild. I mean, maybe, I don't know. It's been a long day for these fellas. You know how LANs go. Sometimes when, like, the hype is just peaking for your team and you're 2-10 and Lakers is 4-10 and they're just in your head screaming across the LAN center. A piss around and you can be really flatlined here if you're fourth quarter. And I bet, like I'm standing on, they would certainly let them know on the Meat Wagon side.
I gotta know, Marky, you are the coach of fourth quarter right now. It's halftime. What was your 10 second Marky halftime show?
Dude, my 8th grade football coach, Coach Porter, when we were being forced to run, he would say, we're not going to lose in the fourth quarter. So that's when they're not going to give up. It's the end of the game, and that's when they've got to lock in. Got to put the money where the mouth is and live up to the name. That's what Seb is currently saying. He's got 2 for his own right. It's all 5 alive currently for fourth quarter. That bomb down the ramp, and I got to say, 5th in the books, and they're signed up.
I tell you what, they got the gas in the tank, and it seems like that there is no stopping them because fourth quarter dominate that pistol and buy some time, buy some space for them to mentally get back into this thing. Yeah, I think your coach was cooking on that one. You gotta have the stamina, and a long day at the office here at Knoxville is the stamina that you need. That's why you get out and run early in the morning. Or late at night, I guess. You know, whatever you're into, whatever tickles your fancy.
I bet, like, Bruce Wayne runs at night. Well, we know he does. He's, like,
Yeah.
beating the crap out of criminals. Here goes Blake. Yeah, he's just going to get tanked. Blaker's down in the lobby. But I wasn't kidding, by the way, dude. Shout out Coach Porter. He was a cop as well. Dude's certainly good police. He was a great coach.
This guy is an officer coaching high school football on the side?
It was 8th grade football. So he was doing it for free. You know, which I even think is for more respect, TBH.
Yeah,
and then he kicked our, like, assistant coach out in the middle of the season because he was doing some nefarious things.
Oh,
you know?
boy.
Not, like, too bad. He's a cool guy, but, you know, maybe a bad influence on the 8th graders that they were finding out what he's up to. You know what I'm saying?
I think I'm picking up what you're putting down. Lakers a little bit of confidence there swinging through. That confidence well founded. It's up against Glocks, but a lot more losses than I think they would have liked to have. Fearless Beetle has reclaimed one of those MP9 SMG maneuvers. But Seb, I mean, should have the winning strategy here up and out of bullets eventually. Fearless Beetle goes down. Not a lot, though, for fourth quarter to love in that round.
So, what do you think, and I'm going to be taking some liberties here based off of the fandom hashtag, Ride the Meat. What do you think the Meat Riders are feeling about this second half, Vincent? It's fourth quarter, putting 2 under their belt. This third round's going to say a lot about them perhaps getting in gear, but I would certainly fear.
I think the Meat Riders are loving Nuke right now, to be honest. They love the energy that they're getting out of both the map and their squad. What I do know is that fourth quarter already down pretty, not bad, but significantly. 6 HP in the Gonzo. And with an MP9, right, you want to be able to have confidence when you're fighting with an MP9. Nuke's a great map for this weapon. You can really put it to use at any position on CT side, but you need to have confidence with it. And Gonzo are going to be probably lacking that with the HP disadvantage.
Yeah, I gotta say, I think I am confident in a push outside. He's alone doing this immediately in the second round. Gets a little bit spammed out. A little bit hard to have a leg to stand on here when trying to put a leg up in your personal performance again. Rue gets a very nice look onto the back and side. I say that, yet Gonzo gets a kill outside. Takes a lot to trade him, and that's a whole minute. Nishu now going above, and there is beyond fourth quarter to a 7.
Yeah, I tell you what, Nitsu has come up in a big way in this map. Had some rough misses on Ancient. You know, we caught a couple of them, which is unfortunate for him. But what I think has been good is that he's kind of stood the test of time in this one. And he's buying time, right? Or, I mean, if they want to just look to move out with this, you know, maybe find an equalizer, that's fine too. But buying time for the, you know, that slow start we're talking about for Gonzo, where we're just about, you know, you get just about everybody activated eventually, is the hope for fourth quarter. Although they'll be working their way back into this thing and up against another eco round.
I mean, Nuke is one of the harder maps to upset players on. Marley, you know, I was about to talk about the individual skill that is clearly into the fourth quarter name. We were talking about it, but there's a great check into that reality. Flashed into Big Garage. Not going to be finding anything on the other end of that hook. However, it's going to be a look outside. It's sad that it's at least seasoning up a couple of these players. Fully finishing one, excuse me. But now 3 of these deagles at least right around the corner.
And Nitz was in a great spot. They don't know about him, and there was contact made by Moto, but Moto goes down, unseen, big moves,
no.
and now removed. It's Gonzo alone versus 4. Oh boy, this is back to worse for fourth quarter.
Oh, this is terrible. I mean, this is terrible. I mean, fourth quarter, that's a bit of a fumble, certainly. And what, it's 1 loss bonus. Take the save. Take the save and reset. You hand over double digits. I mean, certainly this was a game where, I gotta say, it can get to your head. It's one where you lose that pistol round and your stomach turns, but then you just have to lock in. But it goes back to back for fourth quarter after that. And you can say, when is Tennessee Meat Wagon gonna need a round through a miracle probably? And that's exactly where they get it.
Trying to puzzle out where that smoke. Oh, it's a door smoke. Interesting.
Yeah, you can throw that for like the insta drop if you want to like run out the door.
Yeah, no, I just little utility moment that I hadn't really seen or didn't know off the
I
rip.
haven't seen it thrown in CS2 if I'm being honest.
Yeah, fun stuff. You know me, I'm a bit of a nade guy.
He's the nade guy.
Meanwhile, Lobby Crunch that works a treat. It's giving Seb a little bit to beat with. That being said, I don't know that they're going to be able to work their way back in. Lots of bodies, which is helpful, but his AKs ripped through the unarmored opposition with ease. An adjustment for Blaker's not found, and Seb will get out without much of a sound. This is a good decision because he's on the lowest econ of them all.
Yeah, and get a little bit of a gun right at the end. I think you're going to be trying to hold on to that. Why not? I think the bigger concern for me is there wasn't more damage dealt. But you can't really nitpick on every single end. I mean, you're not going to be able to fully get too much out under you with the upgraded pistols, with the maneuvers that the Meat Wagon have put up in the last 2. But now they're completely going to withstand what they are. Staying with the rifles, not going with the SOP. That's what Blankers gets up. Now they have to withstand fourth quarter with a lot of pressure out under him, having to get around. And this is round 18 where, honestly, it's a bit of a joke, right? It's the fourth quarter now, like I was saying. They're supposed to stand up now. We'll see if that's true.
Well, Blaker's getting active.
No!
It's been an odd day, at least for this third map.
Wow.
Escape made. Drew just about caught him, but fortunate to stay standing tall. Deep into lower side. Seb, as they drop onto his head, Suzanne goes down. There's a smoke drop right in their face, too. And so this outside yard control that the Meat Wagon have, I think they're just going to have to go away based off that fact.
And Nitsua responsible for multiple angles here, with Gonzo to basically just rip off of him. Nitsua now just taking care of the only player in Hut, but an unfortunate rotation out from Gonzo, but Blanker's the savior, and he can't steal a second. But now Nitsua, honestly, with crazy timing, crazy positioning, is now on to Mihu with green grass. Now can get a bomb plant or at least attempt to get a peek. Now just trying to split these players, and he does have opportunity to do so, but unaware of Blakers, who is just lurking in mini right next to him. This one is going to come down to a very weird timing. It's literally going to be a flash into the second vent that goes for the peak. Mihu, with probably only a couple bullets left in the AK, is now learning that based off of that, second enemy's got to be close, Vincent. Enough time for the repositioning is absolutely diabolical.
I think Blakers actually took a shot earlier on, so I think he knew that he was there from the very beginning of this, trying to escape. That Molotov going to give clear indications that escape has not been made by Mihu. And Blakers, I think, correct to go to the rifle instead. Has to give it a reload, though, so any timing on this is lost across. And now into prime position to win this round. Blaker still convinced that he's sight side, but no, not a chance. Back turn, and Mihu wins the round.
That's the big one. That is the big one. It's 11-7 right now, and you might as well start writing that $1,200 check at least, because we'll talk about that grand final when we get a moment. But it currently seems like this team, the Meat Wagon, all out of Tennessee, Vincent, it's heating up, and it may not be done tonight. They may have another best of 3 scheduled here in a moment, but first they got to lock in game point against some pistols.
Tell you what, fourth quarter, though, I love this call. Willing to go for the eco up against it all. It's 7-11, soon to be 12, likely to be 12 based on the pistol investment, as you mentioned, but still willing to go for it. That's betting on yourself. That's money down, and you just said it's a money match, and that's why fourth quarter stand tall often. Well, let's see if that is the case tonight, though. Unlikely considering where we're at. Look at how grimy and defensive this setup is for Tennessee Meat Wagon. You gotta love the willingness from them just to slow it down a little bit. Let fourth quarter make the move.
I mean, it's got to be an insane feeling that you're feeling right now for some players where, I mean, in limited opportunity in North America, do you get the chance to run it up and get the opportunity to grind your way to a grand final on LAN? I mean, for players that have never experienced this, holding on for dear life is a feeling that is not too exaggerated at the moment. Here goes a little bit of utility onto A to shake it up, but they know how to dodge this. But the 5.7s are not being found. On top of the site is going to be a little bit obvious, but that's going to be the audio cue, and they're not going to be looking for this player top mini. Nitsua is just going to be cleared out right now, so I think the fears are going to be cleared for the moment. As right here, Michu, I think he's got it all up to West. It's 12 right put into the wagon.
Yeah, I mean, just a really defensive round played out by Tennessee Meat Wagon there. They just don't give anything away. And that's what you can't afford to do when you're talking about a grand final on the line. When you're talking about LAN, that's the lack of mistakes that are likely going to be sending them into these finals. 5 in a row for fourth quarter required. It's not enough, but 5 rifles that will lead them to it.
We're at about 1:41 a.m. over there in Knoxville. It's getting late, and Gonzo and the boys would have to pull off 5 in a row to force OT. Gonzo still getting active outside. Nitsua still putting up frags, and that's going to be a good one for fourth quarter to get under the belt. Now, Mihu would need a nice little 1v5 to pull us into the grand finals, but yeah. I think we might be on new career another moment at least.
Yeah, a little longer. I tell you what, man, Nitsua has had an incredible nuke, though. Just talking about keeping the team alive and making it competitive in some rounds where otherwise it probably wouldn't be. That's an example of one. It's a Nitsua double. Gonzo with 2 there at the end as well, starting to heat up a little bit. But I mean, we're seeing a team effort on the side of Tennessee Meat Wagon as well. I just got to mention, right? Mihu with that 1v2, it's a massive victory. But even beyond that, Talked about Fearless Beetle before, but it's been Rue all series long.
Lakers. It's looking like he's wanting to get active in ramp. Just as close so he can diagnose the perfect utility. A couple of smokes, rather. Just the one. A molly out into secret. Trying to grease the wheels into Mini, it looks like, with Gonzo to try and police this. They've already sent Nitsua down below. However, I think they're actually going to be headed down that hole, Vincent. We'll see if Gonzo does end up bending this. But they're headed back into Nitsua's hands, and he's never let that go.
No. He and Gonzo, a tag team from upper lower side. It's a 1-2 punch that's devastating when it's the best of times. And right now, it's broken apart to a certain extent by Mihu. Seb solo towards the ramp side, but if he stays tucked in this corner, unlikely that Marley's going to check that on its initial swing. Oh, but he might be caught in transition. No, Seb gets away. This is crazy on the timing. Seb now back in business, adjusting for one, but not the second. Moves them down onto the B site.
Nitsua, this is information given over. And right now, that molly is not going to go as deep as they would wish. Nitsua makes a play out of the double doors. Smoke, a little bit of respect, earns that first frag, unaware of that second player so close. However, it comes from up top. Fourth quarter still in the game with 2 rounds in a row. And there's still a lot of money here, right? It's Mihu with 7,100 still in the pockets. Gonna deliver a couple of these AKs across. I feel a Nico coming up the veins, though. And I know it's double loss bonus right here, but it's not going to be strong. So it's got to be confident in return by the Meat Wagon, which they haven't been lacking of until this weird spill at a fourth quarter comeback, which seems to have juice.
Yeah, I mean, it's clear the juice that is happening right now because of the timeout, right? Tennessee Meat Wagon taking the timeout means that they're certainly feeling the pressure. And overtime was a requirement on map number 1. It was fourth quarter to bring us to map point first. And it's now fourth quarter that have to make the comeback. The shoe on the other foot, so to speak, with much more to be said. Though, I mean, this is really a question of how much more. Because we could end it right here. This buy, as you were talking about, kind of the last gasp of the economy still had before an eco required.
And I think, like, I might be on the same page with whoever is, excuse me, IGLing right now on the Meat Wagon. I feel that you're forced onto the MAC 10 right now, but if this ends up being an A hit, just one of those really basic rounds where you can get the sense of trying to reset, and you're not really going to be seeing an approach like that. A little bit awkward to start maybe on the fourth quarter defense, but we'll see exactly what card Tennessee Meat Wagon are going to be pulling here. Perhaps a slower A hit. Rue is going to be getting into the door, Vincent. So right now we are seeing fourth quarter get ready for this. Oh, flashing out. There's no way the Rue finds a kill like that. But where's the follow-up? Where's that? That's only the pump fake. Now there's confusion on the side of the Meat Wagon.
Yeah, and that confusion might end up being a huge boon for them, because they're just going to walk out together, go elsewhere. And on the one hand, this allows fourth quarter some time to recombobulate themselves. Yeah, I mean, they do have the time. They don't have the smokes, though. And that's the crucial thing that's missing. They're just going to go walk back hut? Well, this is certainly going to be interesting. Tennessee Meat Wagon not leaving themselves a lot of time for things to go wrong. Oh, and things have gone wrong, devastatingly so. It's Gonzo. Second fit, a Molotov sit, but he's still not perturbed. Adjustment made for Mihu. A 1v2 before, but 1v4? No, not enough time to do that with Blakers ready and waiting.
I gotta say, it's money that's the main talking point around this round, but you can feel it. It's energy back in the room. It's Gonzo getting these kills, a guy that, like, bottom of the scoreboard, you can feel a presence missing in the server. But for anybody that's been to a LAN, that's seen this guy play with X13 back in the day, I think you can imagine the volume in the room after a round like that.
Yeah, I mean, he definitely can get loud. I think Nitsuo gets loud as well, if I'm not mistaken. You know, it's always funny because you get those guys going. Seb, who's a quiet guy,
Yeah.
you know, you don't want to get him going. That's a mistake. If you're Tennessee Meat Wagon, Gonzo's in a bit of a problematic spot, though. It's a flashbang in. They've done this a couple of times.
Oh,
He's
no.
unaffected, and he's got two.
This is something that's an issue. Gonzo starting to heat up in this late hour. Mono pulls it to a 4v2, called a 4v1. Marley gets his way out. A has a headshot, has a flood in through heaven, but no bomb plant to be available for him at the moment. We'll see if he does end up trickling back, but yeah, I feel like it's nice to characterize Seb like that because it's certainly true. And there are a lot of, like, silent killers like that in Counter-Strike, and while, you know, the loud guy is always crazy, it's like the loud guy in most teams is like the IGL, like Kerrigan or Apex, who's not really doing too much damage. A lot of people were... I'll get back to that in a moment. I think Marley might be connecting into some shots. Maybe just a couple that are close. Unfortunate for Marley, but he's still alive. Still with 62 health.
Ow.
Somehow. Unlucky.
That man
But that's
lived.
just pulled within one, Benny.
I'm telling you, that guy was in a war zone for like a lot of locked in for a full like half minute there.
Certainly so. But we're going all 24 on Nuke. Insane semifinal. I mean, this is for all $1,200 into this round. Vincent, I'll finish my point so I don't sound like a crazy person. Did you see that video of new, amazing, crazy Polish pickup, X-Kaspersky? People are saying he had no aura. He wasn't smiling in that video. I'm like, dude, that's what Alex Pereira looks like when he's going into a fight. A silent killer. That's who Seb is in the server right now. But right now they might be silenced because at the beginning of this round, I feel like the Tennessee Meat Wagon is getting the upper hand.
Yeah.
However, the upper hand in this time is with Gonzo down below, trying to put up shots. You know he wants to get more than one, and he does.
Dude, Gonzo has just shown up perfect timing. I said Nitsuo was buying the time for him to be activated, and it's certainly true. Lakers forwards and wards them off of the B site with just his AWP presence, and it's looking like overtime is potentially likely. When you talk about Nitsuo now on A, that's where they refocus their sights. Out into the open goes Marley, dead as well through the single door, and now it's Sudane and Mihu, the clutch master in Mihu, but with 25 kills to his name, there's 45 seconds for this 2v4.
Oh, and it's Mono and Seb coming in to put the cap on it. Unreal. We talked about Gonzo coming in perfectly with the juice, and it turned out that that was the key. 5 in a row. They drank the Kool-Aid. Vincent, if you're juiceless, you're useless. They ride it all the way back. And now you're going into overtime, just like on map 2, with, I think, revenge. That's going to be hopefully greatly served in fourth quarter. That's currently how the storybook is going. This Meat Wagon team needs the defibrillators right now. I feel like there's guys that, unless it's Mihu, unless it's Marley, it kind of feels like he's down on the scoreboard as well. We need something on Fearless Beetle. I feel like it's been a moment since we've said his name.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's not necessarily a matter, I think, of like the individuals specifically, but I think it's just that T side. Like the struggles that we saw, yeah, a dominant opping performance for Fearless Beetle in the first half. We saw Rue and talked about him a lot in the first half, and leading up to that 12th round, he was involved as well. But after that, it was only Mihu who was really having that impact in a meaningful way. And as a squad, Tennessee Meat Wagon need to break through that glass ceiling that they ran into.
This is what we were talking about, going for that controlling play. However, they don't put up that volley in height, but they don't give up the timing because of it. Marley, look at that double entry. That is fantastic. Now looking for the third. Seb is close, but he has just silenced the violence, but Mihu's got one back.
Well, Seb dropping onto the site. Now some information. Lakers gonna work through a smoke of their own. Oh my goodness, so much smoke on the site, but he's crept through on a timing here that might be perfection. Tossing the op, and he's gonna create so much question for Sudane, who's not even looking the right way, about to walk backwards into the fray, but no! Lakers pulls the Molotov, and that's his undoing.
Oh, and that one is gonna feel so good. But where was that when the spill came? There just was so little courage in the vein, it seemed like, when regulation came about, but the money that you go into overtime with helps. Having every tool in the toolbox does. Now they can take a deep breath after getting that first round in OT and see what they can bring to the rest of this T side, because they were getting real quirky with it in that last round, getting down Secret very quick, and then there was silenced by Gonzo. I mean, there's another world there, but right now it's the same theory into ramp potentially.
That it is. I just love the pace change, right? Tennessee Meatwagon felt like they were unshackled by overtime money. Able to finally make decisions, and aggressive ones that they would have liked to do in regulation, but didn't have the confidence to go for it. With contact made, who's just trying to get through, but the smoke's fading right as he wants to cross towards Big Garage. Nobody's there. So really wouldn't have been punished by any means, just towards heaven are the CTs. But Meatwagon, they've got a lot of tentative map control, you know? Like, they could be a lot of places, but they aren't.
And they fought for a lot of that, right? Not a single smoke that I see within that grass, because there is the last one sent out. There's a lot of mollies in the way. It's all you need for that A exec is one top of hut, one backside, but now it's spilling down to your own demise. But how do you find that on the transfer? Sudane keeping them in the game right here with a little bit of space to work out, when Blaker's giving him the room that he needs to get out to the site. But I don't believe that Seb is going to be waiting for this. I'm wrong, I guess, but Rue has still got the frag. Blaker's dropping down to the site in a 1v2 with now boldly loading the offense in on the hunt, is close to the flick, but it's 14 that is found, and you know they are happy about it.
That is a crazy reload from Lakers. I'll just put it out there. Just toss it out. Yeah, Seb super aware of Rue, but I mean that is one of those round-winning positions that's just so hard. When you're trying to approach lobby from ramp side, there's just a million angles to try and clear. And you can get swung on the timing on any of them. Seb checks him, dinks him, but doesn't get the kill. And so, with that, it's 2 in a row. Meatwagon couldn't find anything for 5 straight rounds, so his fourth quarter pushed it overtime. But it's in overtime that they seem to do some of their best work. Remember, 16-12, fourth quarter didn't get a single OT round on Ancient.
And that's Fearless Beetle's first kill in a while, opening the game. Opening the last round of OT on this T side, rather. Nitsua spraying that down with the A4. With Fearless Beetle still around, this is a little bit dangerous, Vincent, but Gonzo is still waiting in the shadows so patiently.
Yeah, I think he's going to hear that audio cue, though. Yeah, Gonzo, as soon as they start to move away, he's on the move. The proactive pace that he sets as they start the flank and moving forward on to ramp side as well. So all of this has a timer on it. And Gonzo's cutting that timer as short as he can, too. Circling. A third? Not quite. That should be enough. No! Moto falls flat. Sudane doesn't get the bomb. And oh my goodness, might line him up. Lakers, no, it's close. But he's gonna play a little cat and mouse game to get the first round of overtime for fourth quarter across this series.
Nicely done. Blakers, we know how he likes to get aggressive there, but his life is so very valuable there late in the round, keeping his eyes on the bomb there, jiggling the angle when necessary, and putting up a 13th when they just needed one to hold on. They really got an aggressive look by the Meatwagon there, who seemed hot to trot to just put up 3, but that's one to hold on to. And now they go on to a T side where, anecdotally, they had their success.
It's a good point. Yeah, I mean, doing a good job of fending off on the T side, but the CT side was where they really buttered the bread, if you will. 8-4 was the score line, if you recall. Time to roll out and see what they've got cooked up here for fourth quarter's T side. Tell you what, it wasn't great, but I don't think we necessarily saw all they had to offer.
Regardless, whatever they put out is going to be the results. Got to leave it all out in this OT while the second half is still young. Try and make the difference entirely. I'm surprised there's no super aggressive play by the Meat Wagon to try and make this difference. There's a lot of confidence in getting to 15 and operating on it. That's what the entire first half was after that of the first OT. Fearless Beetle, it's a sight for sore eyes with the op in your hand. There is a man advantage up for the Meat Wagon.
Yeah, I mean, op in-game leading as well, from what I understand.
Gotcha.
And I think that on the CT side, there's a lot more freedom within that role. You know, very clear the way you can do that. But on the T side, a little more difficult. He finally gets it back, and he's got an opening frag. Oh, it's a little complicated. I've got no clue how Rue's done that.
And this is just crazy because transferring down the vent. Oh no, Mihu is going to be putting up the team kill, and Gonzo actually gets Mihu there. So going south at the moment in more ways than one, but tagged up fourth quarter are quite low. Lakers with all the HP for this one, but look at how far Zidane has gotten. That's the bomb planner going to be plucked out. That's the vaccine and going to be executed down. Gonzo from the double door has got to make this happen. Maybe a little bit too early on that, but Marley in the game himself. He's got that headshot on the Blakers. The scope on his gun is just outmatched, but now getting active. There's only one lane for this. He has to meet Gonzo at it, and he won't get the peek. Now just tapping. It's Gonzo that he has to fool, but that's not easy. That's not an easy shot, but the stabs are out, and Gonzo has got the blade. Fourth quarter have got 14, and we're tied up in overtime on the fourth map, on the third map, and we just don't know who's going to be your grand finalist.
Yeah, not a fourth map just yet, but a fourth quarter, that's for sure. And it's all about Gonzo in the clutch. He's been waiting for his time to shine, and now bright like a star. And in this show, he certainly is. Pulling out that knife and not even going for a shot with the op through, just understanding that he has the tools and it was in his back pocket the whole time.
I would like a fourth map. Can we have like a VO5 in the series entirely?
I'm going to scream.
Oh wait, it's 2 in the morning on the eastern side. Oh dude, it's too late for a game like this, but I don't think anybody's complaining. Maybe those in Tennessee. However, I'm sure the vibes are probably insane. Probably very unique at this point in the game, but Blakers has just got an opening for fourth quarter. Fearless Beetle right back. Poetically, that's how it's been this entire map.
Yeah, it really has. A big move.
What are they sussed out about?
Yeah, I don't know. That's what I was about to say. They super concerned about a move down B. I think there might have been a ramp gap. I guess that's what it is. But they're not there. Nitsua, he's ready. He's on the ball. Marley, I again don't know. He was holding this cross, but Nitsua got across without him being aware. Some real openings in the communication here, breaking down late into this map, and it could give fourth quarter 15.
Down straight up. Marley's got to take this through, muscles it out first, and it's all done. Fourth quarter, 5 rounds in a row to get to overtime, 15 on their backs, and they've got series point to try and put the signature onto the $1,200 check.
Yeah, Mihu on 27 frags. He's been there a round or two at this point, but he's been so critical to the success of this Tennessee Meat Wagon squad. You gotta be looking towards him, looking towards Fearless Beetle, who doesn't actually have the op this round. I've just realized it still has the rifle to work with. They want so badly Meat Wagon to get a rematch. A look at Yippee, who wait in the grand finals. They sent them down to the lower bracket in the winter final. Will they get a chance at revenge?
And with telegraphed smokes outside, there's only one place they can be. Sudane takes a peek that he probably shouldn't. And that could be the last time that you see him in the server. Seb, 1 for 1. And Marley and Co, they get advanced positioning onto this, still waiting for Rowe down the vet. But that's a big dink onto Moto at the moment.
Think that, oh my goodness,
no.
Gonzo, he's just beheaded him. Rue doesn't get the timing. Nitsua sprints away. Marky, this might be it. This might be all day. We've got that move to this point, but Mihu, the clutch meister, the minister of victory, as he's dropping down, it's all about Nitsua. 1v2, Fearless, it's all about Rue again and again. They bring it back to back. Mihu helps them clutch, and the Rue 1v1.
Dude, unbelievable scenes in Tennessee. I can hardly believe it myself. Brew with another clutch off the back of Mihu. I guess it's just a rubbing off at this point. We're going into overtime number 2. Fourth quarter, probably thought they had that one locked up. Getting down so cleanly into that entry. That is just insane that the Meat Wagon pull that back. Nukes keeps on kicking along at 2:03 Eastern.
Yeah, I'm impressed. I can't believe it. It's beautiful that Mihu is bringing this back like we have been seeing. I cannot believe what we're coming through here. That rematch is starting to get spicier, especially when I've just been told spicy even more. Marky, Tennessee Meat Wagon won the last 2 KNOX Esports LANs. I didn't know
pride to protect. Pride to protect.
They gotta stand on business here.
And OT number 2. That's a sentence that I'm sure if you would have told me at 12-7, I would have said, haha, that's quite funny.
Again, a silly guy.
They're echoing the play that they do right at the end of the half, a straight down B once again.
I mean, they had it. They had everything going for them, right? Like the B post plant, that was actually perfect. It just didn't quite hold the way it should have. Seb, though, dude is always creating problems, whether it be late towards ramp or holding lobby. He does it both, and he drops right into his crosshair. No Mihu heroics this round, and the floor is lava. Trying to re-enter from you. Fearless Beetle got to work a bit of a miracle here.
1v4. Might as well give it a quick little peek. Don't keep us with Fearless Beetle. He's just going to be checked on it. Fourth quarter, they're going to be just on that first round of overtime at number 2. Into their T side, we're repeating how the game originally started, Vincent. That's where they got off to a very nice start where, honestly, I had my hopes up for a very nice second half that, you know, at its very opening front looked very prim. It was 7-5. It was 7-12, rather. And it was practically done. So now you're getting this thing right back again. It's like you're reliving the sequence, and we'll see if they would go back and change anything, because now it's like they can.
Yeah, I mean, tight lead in overtime, but other than that, I mean, the second half was not a single lead for fourth quarter. Now they grab one back. Mihu spotted, still gets one as Nitsua falls. Late one move made as Rue gets his, but it's Seb again who takes 2 whenever needed, whenever required. With Marley out of this round, essentially, based on that smoke, or at least another 15 seconds now, this is a tough one. Fearless Beetle's got it all.
Looking outdoor, and that is a big pin pulled out of it. It's going to be Gonzo going on the long way round. Seb going in through Hut. Second vent is going to be cleared. There is something just not adding up for Marlowe at the moment. Marlowe now just got to flick back, but it's Gonzo that had the flank, and right now, fourth quarter might be taking it to the bank. They've got 2 here at overtime, number 2.
We're talking about experience a lot over the course of this game. Both sides actually in that conversation for highly experienced players, but another one for Gonzo where I talked about his immediate decision pulling out the knife in that 1v1. It's the quick thinking when he smoked off door to just sprint towards ramp and take that move immediately. A little bit more hesitation and he wouldn't have been there in time.
How he stands.
How he does, I don't know.
Marley. Gonzo impression, perhaps? He's got an opening kill. I don't feel like Gonzo was too successful when he pushed with the MP9.
No. It's a big win. At least to be. Sudane. Double. Even a third here. Not quite his, but Fearless Beetle cleans it up at the end. 2 out of 3 rounds go to fourth quarter, and on their T side as well.
And now they just get to lock it in again. I mean, I feel like there's a lot here to come down. I feel like before, when you were transferring onto the CT side the first time, it's like you were saving all your energy for then. I mean, the amount of kind of energy that's put out that you've been saving up through each clutch one, to where you're thinking it's probably the next round you've got locked in. I can think of at least 2 scenarios for either team where there's probably a huge celebration in the LAN center, and at this point, I mean, if you're going all the way, you have another best of 3 to play entirely, right? So it's got to be a nightmare, and quite literally the experience you're experiencing on this third map into OT number 2, fourth quarter. Now up by 1, have an opening kill, and Nixua can respond back.
Yeah, I mean, that's Sudane answering the call, but that double up is so powerful because it's now a work back and a lack of map control too. Guns are tucked deep into door, makes life difficult, and Sudane has an inkling, has some knowledge that this is where the push happened, but he doesn't know how stuck in Gonzo is, nor how close. There is a player to respond to any backup calls. That is changing fast, though. Gonzo no longer with backup. Sudane does a check, right angle, so low. Gonzo will eventually get it done. He's allowed time even to reload, and now he's called in that additional reinforcement in Moto.
So close, a bit hot right now, but seemingly able to escape. Now Marley gonna have to get creative, choosing what is, I gotta say, a plethora of weaponry. So we'll find how he's comfortable. A1S tickles his fancy, but still no inkling as to where exactly he's gonna be attempting this. Out through hut, probably has the best odds, and Seb is gonna be agreeing on this. But now there's the step. 19 seconds left. The rotations are gonna be on the way, almost to flick up. It's 18. Put in the banister for fourth quarter, who are now on match point again.
Yeah, they've had a couple of them. All right, 2 chances already in overtime number 1. They've got 2 more in overtime number 2. Or we do it again. It could be 3 overtimes on the trot. That is all a big if. Lakers ripping open an early pick last round. The AWP, that CT op has been a little bit hit or miss, I think, for Blakers. Talk about popping in when it matters most.
Ooh. Marley's serving up some revenge to Moto there, just immediately out of the door. Gonzo finding out that pressure is within. He's going to have to figure out this himself. Slipped throughout all of the traumas. Now put his team in bizarre standing. Taking control of lobby, now fully understanding where this is coming from. Eyes on the bomb. Marley and Michu Eminem get these opening kills.
Lakers in trouble, but Gonzo, very interesting spot. Just the smoke fade on timing doesn't favor him. Another molly comes through. Lakers misses the sitter, but I think he's already trying to conversation about how he can get in, but I think out is really the only option for him. 9 HP.
Yeah, we'll see if he ends up actually getting that far. Money on the time here. And that's exactly what the Meat Wagon are tracking. Hopefully their way into an overtime number 3. It's absolutely insane. This is where the conversation is at this point of the night. But gotta respect it. Out of this game, it's going to be amazing. It's sad that one of these teams is going to walk away with nothing, but that's how cutthroat it is sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, and now with knowledge that Tennessee Meat Wagon looking for the 3-peat here in Knoxville. This is a movie's made before, makes it again. He's got his rifler who's dropping utility. Unfortunately, Seb gets caught trying to play more supportive for his teammate, but ultimately needed gun out there and loses out because of it.
Mihu now getting active, distracted with smoke by Gonzo. Probably the largest find to flip this round onto its back. Nitsua, let's see if he can track the lurk down below. There's no way this timing is found. Nitsua's not going to be aware of this. So now Moto, first head going to be checked, but now Nitsua should have this one grasped. He should. That's the point. It's all being taken down now. Fearless Beetle. He's got a date with OT number 3. Unless Blakers has got something to say about it, it may as well be the case. He's looking for it, and it is. Fearless Beetle does it himself.
Dude, this guy, talk about like fragging when required. It was the whole CT half on the op, picking up openers every time it was needed. And it's on the rifle, which I'll be real, it hasn't been a great second half or overtime really for Fearless Beetle. Overtime a lot better than the second half, but in general, not amazing. What an amazing round. What a time to pull one out for the boys, and they do it here and now. Double overtime, not enough. We need 3.
I got a good idea. What if we take the best parts of both of these teams and they play Yippee in the grand final?
Okay, well, you
that
can't
would
say
be
that.
quirky.
You
that
can't
would be
say
quirky.
that without me asking, who are you bringing?
That's not up to me. That's
No,
not
you
up to
can't
me.
say that and not give me that answer.
I got nothing. I think I'm a fraud. I think I'm a fraud.
I agree, that's fraud behavior. Put him on fraud watch.
Because it's hard. It's certainly hard to pick out.
You got 10 guys on the server, 5 opportunities. Like,
It's not that complicated of a question, you're right. But even when it's like, maybe Moto's struggling a little bit, it's like, he does most of the work a lot of the times, controlling the rotations down to B. It's one of the most important jobs. It is most of the time thankless. Everybody's got their role. I love this picture. Meow.
is that cat mogging?
Whose isn't?
Okay.
Yep.
I don't have kitty cats, so I wouldn't know. Not a knower. What I do know is that Ramp's under pressure. Lakers getting the heck out of Dodge. Can he escape in time? Yes. And Seb, where have I seen that fight before? Again and again, he's found victories, but Moto goes down on the other side of it. Nitsua sprinting to help Gonzo out, who's taken and staken a claim back into the lobby, just to make sure that he doesn't have to commit to the site fight for now.
Nitsua spotted out of the corner of the eye. Now a peek, and Marley loses it. Now gonna do the heavy lifting, and I gotta say, it's a little bit too much on the bar. 19. Now gonna be fourth quarters, and nice way to start out OT3.
I mean, yeah, I agree, but I got a question, Marky. The hell does it matter if you're starting strong if you can't freaking finish?
Counter-terrorists win.
It's a very good question.
The people are asking, because that's what's happened these last 3 overtimes. Fourth quarter started strong, but they can't finish. Trying to get a finishing blow here. Alternatively, didn't see me Wagon. They're in prime position. With just one loss here on their T side, they still got time to make the comeback and turn the tables.
Beetle looking for a bit of an edge to try and get through. A little bit of a smoke, he can certainly find his line. It's Rue that gets an entry. Nitsua, strong from the back of sight, expecting something from Putt. Has got to try and cut to the other end. is actually put out. Oh, and so is that ramp player. Seb now in a 1v3, which very attemptable. Very attemptable. And we know Seb with the confidence just going to be slapped right out of his hands. It's the Meat Wagon who are trying to get their way to their 3rd consecutive grand final.
Yeah, another big moment out of Marley, who I think has really woken up as we got deeper into this map. We were talking about maybe a little bit slower for what we know he is capable of. Not anymore. No longer the case. Seb with the op this time. Not Blakers, who's still posted on ramp.
Gonzo prime positioning to cancel out any crawl into mini. Just depends how long these smokes are up for. They fade at this time, but it's the 2nd smoke. The closest to mini still up, giving them at least a wall for a moment, but it's just put out with thin air. Marley, look at him just climbing the ladder, but he's unfortunately knocked down to the bottom of the totem pole, where 4th quarter will get a brief lead into overtime 3's second half.
You know, we've seen this so many times. And now, I mean, it's been every half, right? Every half of overtime, the first has been 2-1, favoring 4th quarter. And you see it once again. No changes in the status quo. But what needs to change if 4th quarter want this to be a grand final berth is they need to find the closer. Tennessee Meat Wagon, they're not giving up. They have no stop. None whatsoever.
It's just insane to think we still have a grand final after this. It's just, it's wild to think about. But we still have got to see if it's the Meat Wagon that's going to get comfortable here late, to try and lift it above their heads. At the initial point of this red position, letting Rue go is one thing. Immediately getting that trade, but the information on 2 players is the most important part. You see how the 4th quarter are reacting.
Well, actually, they stutter stepped this. They waited a little too long. They had the right read to snap towards A, but they waited a second, and now they've given it away. That advantage they had evaporates. And the bomb now in the end. Oh my goodness, straight nade. It doesn't matter. Mihu tracks through the smoke. Itsua V4. I thought that was the information. I thought you were right, Marky. I thought it was all in the end of the 4th quarter there, but Tennessee Meat Wagon has done it. Little hesitation, and the T side opens the avenues.
Still holding in from up top. Slips one up shot, but see if he's able to get out from the whole bunch. He's not. 40 rounds into Nuke, and we're still at a tied game here. Tennessee Meat Wagon, though that's very nicely done. I think trying to get active, but still being able to try and rotate back, I think more to the failure of 4th quarter to capitalize on the opportunity that is presented at the beginning of the round, but I think the big picture, not clear on that problem.
Yeah, that's fair. The equalizer, though, for Tennessee Meat Wagon, just like on a mental side, Marky, like what that means to see a tie game after so often being down, you know, by 2 or more. It's gonna help, though that doesn't. Blakers, I mean, we've talked about this a lot, but the op battle has been an interesting one. Blakers getting the better this time around. Marley actually wielding it on the other side. Well, adjustment made for Rue. Up top from Raptors, it's 2. Him and Fearless Beetle, a tag team duo that sets Seb in the clutch again. Both actually towards heaven. That nade could be chunky. It doesn't quite go as deep as you would have liked to see. Seb's got to try and recover the bomb just now. Walked over, but he could go towards B, and I think that's his move.
Picks up a molly on the way. Seb needs to deliver this for his squad. Plants the bomb for fourth quarter.
Has been planted.
And Marley, tools in the bag, but a body to carry along with it. Buddied up, and Seb, he's not gonna wait very long, and maybe just the devious positioning into the corner. Let's see if he can hit the lick. He does onto the first headshot, and Seb won't quit. He's still going. 41 rounds into Nuke, and he's got the 1v2 clutch.
That's a 1v3, actually. Little trade under the first, tease the 1v2, and clutch up for Seb again and again. Dude, this is so insane. That is such a committed angle from Seb on so many levels. He is exposed from everything. Sight side. If they open single door, he's dead. They swing double, he is dead. And if he has a gun out, he's dead.
Oh, Marley. Insane opening. I was going to say, though, that I've gotten the very nice fortune to cast 7. 2 grand finals at LAN prior in my time, rather a semifinal and a grand final, if I do remember correctly. This guy has been in the big moments and delivered. We'll see if he's able to carry it all the way through. 22 is the magic number.
It's hard to keep track. So deep. What a pixel angle. That is yucky. Again, drops a bomb on their heads too. Flashbang to delay, escape made.
Smoke out for a little bit of cover, but just ran down. And that's a crucial part of this equation, just gonna be subtracted out. Michu trying to get in on the rotation. Seb's gonna be low, looking for these kills, and Moto has got exactly that. Just placed out his last piece, and that's the molly out to the left side of you. Marley has got to track this back himself. There's all the kits they need, but no angles in the world to work them back. It's Seb to try and get out of this, but they're hanging on for dear life. They're not going to believe they're in the grand final, so they're sitting in their seats. 2v1 for Michu now. The clutch king we have crowned throughout this, but right here, it's going to be Tennessee's body in the wagon. 2-time champions here in Tennessee. Not anymore. We have a new king to crown in Knoxville tonight.
That we do, and it's a question of fourth quarter or yippee, but a valiant effort, an incredible effort, one could even say, for this Tennessee squad, man. I cannot believe the depth to which we just went down, Marky. 37 frags there at the end for Michu. It was Gonzo and Seb leading the charge on the other side. Again, I just think it's so important to remember the time that Nitsua bought. Like, him and Seb were really a duo there at the beginning of this game for Gonzo to wake up. Like, Gonzo had was 2 and 8 at one point or something like that. Had 4 kills on the half and brings it back to 36 in triple overtime.
Just insane stuff, man. Absolutely insane stuff. Vincent, I think I may spoil a little bit of fun or just let everybody know what we are going to be ready for here. I'm hearing that we got a very special man ready for an interview potentially.
Oh yeah, I'm pumped to get to. I don't know who it is. You know who it is?
Can I say?
I don't know.
It's gonna be Seb from fourth quarter. It's gonna be
All
Mr.
right, let's
Seb
go.
from fourth quarter. So,
Let's go.
oh, hello. It is going very good, Seb. We just watched an absolutely insane game, my friend. I was commenting on how we've seen you in many big LAN games before, but out there in Tennessee, that's got to be probably one of the craziest LAN games you probably played in your career. No?
So listen, you guys come into this. I mean, we were talking you up as the favorites, not like maybe massive favorites, but certainly in our mind. but it gets to overtime on Ancient. I know I'm going back a while here, uh, but overtime on Ancient, and then what are you guys thinking? Kind of going into that one. You guys surprised to even get there?
I think that it certainly looked like to be like one of those insanely emotional games. There are a lot of rounds where you could tell, like, I wish I was there because it would have probably been insane to just watch along in person to see how many moments are, oh my God, we're getting on to overtime winning point from a big round. And you got to imagine, like, the emotion that you guys let out. There was probably like two or three moments from either team where that happens. Can you talk about staying in a game like that mentally? I know that you have more experience than other players, but I mean, it's 2:30 in the morning there. You gotta have that into the factor. It's insane. Hell yeah.
Yeah. Well, I have a follow up to that. I mean, can you talk to us a little bit about, obviously, like I'm super familiar with you and Gonzo and Nitsu as well. But talk to me about these guys that maybe we haven't seen as much of in Blakers and Moto. Who are these guys? Like, what do they bring? Because I tell you what, I mean, Blakers, especially when it got to those late overtimes, was constantly providing you guys openers. And I mean, it was Nitsua, who is kind of buying time for Gonzo to get activated as well there on Nuke. Can you talk to me a little bit about like those names that we aren't as familiar with?
Oh, hell yeah. Yes.
Ooh.
Wow. And he
Well,
looks like he's doing pretty well, right? Does he have any playing experience under that belt?
I mean, heck yeah, in a
That's
grand
awesome.
final, that I mean, that's cause for excitement. And speaking of which, I guess my final question would be, what's the thought process coming into this final? What's at the forefront of your mind, especially with how late it is? Gotcha. Yeah. Well, Marky, did you have any other final questions?
Unfortunately not. Maybe I'll ask how it feels to take down the. I'm not sure if you knew about this. That these fellas that you just removed, the Tennessee Beat Wagon, the two-time former champions of this. So I see we got a new crown to get out there, Seb, and $600 more to prize. So I know it's a bit late for you guys. Maybe with a bit of a sweeter victory, we can get you guys like a hotel room or something. Have some fun tonight. But thank you so much, Seb, and good luck in that grand final.
Alrighty. And well, with that, Marky, exciting, always excited to talk to Seb.
Oh yeah.
Such a fun guy and has been having a good time. Uh, Especially, I mean, even at lands, like he was at Chicago,
Yep.
with Limitless. So he's been out in the land circuit here. I don't know if he's gonna be at like Kansas City or not,
I
but
hope so, man. I hope
yeah.
so. Yeah.
I do as well. I think what that does leave us though is the end of this lower final. Like you said, like we've alluded to multiple times, we've got a grand final that's coming up. It should be happening almost immediately as fast as we can. So we're gonna head off. We're gonna do that. We're gonna take a break while we do. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please continue to. We'll be right back with the grand finals in just a few.